leagues right throughout Central Victoria.
Thank you very much, Wallace. Teams in position, umpire ready to throw this one up. Second versus fifth. Doesn't get any better out here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval. There's the siren. Neves and Martin to take the first bounce. And up we go. It's going to be Martin who gets jumped on by Neves but works it down nicely. And Eaglehawk away through McGlashan. Nice kick up towards centre half forward and a strong mark's been taken there. Looks like it might be Harper. Moves it on quickly deep inside 50. Collins the fly but at the back a super mark taken by that man McGlashan, I think it is. And he's going to go back for a shot 20 metres out directly in front. Perfect start for Eaglehawk.
And interesting you were saying, Wallace, where Tyler Miles would line up. He's on Lee Coughlin.
So it looks like it's actually Neves who's floated forward, and you're right, those white numbers aren't doing us any favours in the commentary box, but from directly in front for the first goal for the Borough, Jonty Neves. He trundles in, sticks it on the left. It's going to be tight, but it squeezes in. And a brilliant start for Eaglehawk. They get right around the big fella. First goal on the board just a minute into this game. And they let Tim Martin know a little bit about it. 1 straight 6 the Borough. Sandhurst yet to score.
Yes, Martin got caught a little bit. He didn't go right down into defence, and Neve went down and was able to take a good grab in a pack, and he's made Sandhurst pay a little bit there.
So we're back in the middle. A goal within the first minute of the game to the Borough, so they've obviously started very well. Tossed up in the middle. Now there's a centre square infringement by the sound of it. It's going to be a Sandhurst ball. Big Martin will take it right in the middle of the QEO for the Dragons. So he just drives it fairly wide. The teammate in pretty good position will take that mark for the Dragons. And that is Broadbent. Too far out to score, so he's just going to put it into the forward pocket. Collins, yes. Marks, tight on the boundary. About 35 to 40 out, deep in the forward pocket.
Gee, that was a beautiful kick by Broadbent. He just sat it in Collins' space, and the big fella had to just lead into the pocket. It was a perfect delivery.
You know he's a very good kick at goal, but this will test him. He's deep in the rotunda pocket. Well, that's what we used to call it, Norm, here at the QEO. Let's see if he can get the ball through the big sticks here. No, he's going to go short. Good kick. Chips it into a man who led strongly, and that was Wharton, and he's marked it with the long sleeves on. He's only 10 to 15 out. Much better angle and should be able to go back and slot this one through for the Dragons.
Inexcusable defending there. Just space for the Sandhurst player to lead in Wharton.
I think they all thought he was going to have a shot. I think the way he went back, so they probably relaxed a little bit, the Borough defenders. So Joel Wharton lines up, comes in, left footer. Ooh, not good. Missed it by a long way. It's a behind. So the Dragons get their first score, but it's only a minor. Early going first term, thanks to Holden Colorado at Poyser Holden. It's Eaglehawk 1 straight 6. The Dragons are 1 behind.
So a chance for Glenn Daly to bring this one out of defence. Terrible kick by Wharton. As Daly drops it long and strong mark taken by Miles. Wallace's man right on the paint across half back. Dumps it long now up towards the wing. Martin's down there back for Sandhurst. Strong mark though has been taken by Sandhurst player there. Quickly moving it on now, and they've got numbers through the midfield, although Collins dropped it before he had it. Nice flicked handball out to Price.
Yeah,
the umpire's pinged it free.
For a throw, I think.
Yeah, he certainly has. Great pressure applied there by McPhee. So the short little kick up to Hommelhoff.
He's one we can't miss with the nice red hair, isn't he?
Certainly
he stands out a bit.
Chips it back to Jesse Collins, as mentioned pre-game, returning for the Borough today. Looks up towards centre half forward. Nice kick, although Martin's there all by himself and can take a nice intercept mark out the back and come out wide, although that's a shocker. McGlashan tries to intercept, ends up picking it up again. Dribbling low kick is pretty poor going inside 50. Numbers flying over this one for Sandhurst. Zimmer's there for the Dragons and he's wrapped up and we'll have a ball up about 45 out from goal. There's pressure already on in this game early. Sandhurst, no, they can't let Eaglehawk get off to a fast start. Martin, beautiful tap out the back, although Zimmer overshot it. Great tackle on McGlashan, disposed of the ball of him there and fighting on hands and knees again. This one right on the boundary line, and Zimmer again. He's been fantastic for the Dragons so far this year. Applies a strong tackle and will be balled up once again. Just in front of the Eaglehawk coach's box. Martin in the ruck. brings it down. Quick kick out of the contest. Will dribble along the boundary line. Strawn will be the first.
Well
Great
done.
pick up. Holmes, the handball, couldn't quite pick it up nicely. Right on his back. Good pressure applied. Ducking out of the tackle there was Matt Gray, the new fella. Moving it up now is Paul Pratt. Kick over the back. Bit of work to do now for Ross, although great pressure applied on Miles. Cut off the handball. Forced to throw in 50 out from goal. It was Oscar McKinley, in fact, it was for the Dragons, one of their small forwards. Chance now for the Dragons to take another shot at goal, about 50 out from this stoppage. Taylor Strawn in the ruck now for the Dragons. Up against Neves. Strawn, nice hands down. Fighting through the tackle there was Coughlin. Could have been getting high. Strong tackle applied there by Davies, but umpire lets it go.
So we've got a stoppage. It's 50 from the Dragons attacking goal. Eaglehawk one straight. The Dragons are one behind. Now there's a whistle, and it's going to be an Eaglehawk. No, it's not. It's going to be a Sandhurst free. The umpire waved the wrong way, and Collins is going to take it. Right on the 50, goes short into the pocket, and that's a good grab taken for the Dragons by McKinley, deep in the forward pocket. And he is well within range. In fact, he's in a similar position as Wharton was a few moments ago. Let's see, he might be a little further out, but he's going to go back as though he's going to go with the banana. Let's see what he does, or is he going to kick the drop punt? Let's keep an eye on him. He's going to go off the left with a drop punt. He's, in the words of yours truly, across the face, and the ball's out of bounds on the full, so a free kick to Eaglehawk deep in the back pocket. 6 minutes into the opening quarter, Eaglehawk one straight 6, Sandhurst remain on one behind.
It was a terrible kick out to Miles, bounced before he picked it up, and now the pressure's right on the Borough. Collins strips him and gets a free kick for his troubles. Is umpire going to pay advantage here? He is. Big kick towards the goal square, flying back is Strawn. He's marked it. Brilliant mark by Taylor Strawn. And the Borough put themselves under a heap of pressure from that kick out of defence, and Taylor Strawn will kick from directly in front.
I think Andy Collins wanted them to not play the advantage then, but as it turned out, it worked out all right.
Strawn wastes no time, comes in and slams it into the post. Oh no, it's a terrible miss. An early nomination for the Total Tools Tool of the Week, a minor score. Sandhurst 3 behinds, Eaglehawk 1 straight 6, and Strawn can't believe it.
Daly brings it in long, straight down the middle. Plenty of Eaglehawk numbers there. Mark taken for the Borough. They can move it forward. Little chip into the middle of the ground. No mark taken. Eaglehawk try to knock it to their own advantage. Working hard for them is Bateson. Got a handball out wide. Ball still in dispute though. It was knocked down. Still in the middle of the ground. Holmes is there for Sandhurst. His handball didn't travel far. Fallon for Eaglehawk. Feeds it out wide. Chance for the Borough to work it forward. Good tackling there for Sandhurst by Broadbent. Brought his opponent to the deck. They win it back to Dragons. Wharton's got it. Handball's off. Geez, that's a floating handball. It was meant there for Cody Price, but it was knocked out of play on the wing on the outer or swimming pool side of the ground. 8 minutes into the opening quarter. Thanks to Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets. Eaglehawk 1 straight 6. Sandhurst the 2 behinds.
Ball tossed up once again. Martin with the advantage in the ruck brings it down. Numbers fly over the top of this one. Umpires pulled a free kick out. No. Ball continues to play. And
no, it's going to go back. I think you're right the first time. I think
Yep.
I think he was going to pay the advantage, but I don't know whether he thought it was any advantage, so I think it's coming back.
So we'll come back to Blair Holmes on wing. Chance for Eaglehawk to put their numbers back behind the ball, and Holmes will just have to put a high one into defence. Tries to spear it in the direction of McKinley coming in from the side, although McKinley ends up getting on the back of it. Dribble it towards goal. He's going to fade right, and we'll keep doing that across the boundary line for a throw-in. Good result for the Dragons inside 50.
And the pressure from both sides so far has been great. There's no chance to get a kick when you get in close. You've got to get a handball out because you just don't have a chance to get boot to ball.
So this ball will land about 10 metres out from goal as it's thrown in. Strawn in the ruck against Neves. Strawn brings it down. Probably high Zimmer. I think he's going to be paid the free kick. He is. Ducked into it and will be rewarded with the high tackle. In fact, I think it's Nick Stagg for the Dragons. So he's about 25 out, slide angle.
Surely they won't miss this time.
They definitely need this one after a terrible miss by Taylor Strawn just a couple of minutes ago.
And that's good to see a decision like that given, because in the AFL these days that would have been called play on because he did buckle at the knees.
So Nick Stagg in the bright yellow boots for the Dragons have been dominant here. Need to capitalise with the goal. This one's fading left and continues to. Another behind for the Dragons. Just didn't calculate where that one was going. So They go to 3 behinds. Eaglehawk 1 straight 6. 10 minutes gone in the first term. Bendigo's Fresh FM, where local footy is your first choice, and hasn't been some fresh goal kicking, that's for sure, Ronnie, to start this game.
No, just 3 behinds for the Dragons. They've been wasteful. Miles will bring it in for Eaglehawk. Just slams it on the boot on the back of the breeze up towards the middle of the ground. No mark. Ground level footy. Who can win it? The Dragons try and work their way through Holmes. He's surrounded by a number of Eaglehawk opponents. Brought to ground. The umpire says, mine boys. 1 straight Eaglehawk 6. Sandhurst 3 behinds. 10 minutes into the opening quarter. Umpire tosses it up. Martin in front. Pep's got the best of it. Wharton there for the Dragons. Tackled. Lost the footy. Now Eaglehawk can reload. Collins got a handball wide. And they work it up the swimming pool wing, although good tackling by the big fella for the Dragons in Martin. He brought his opponent down. The umpire said, I'll have it, and I'll toss it up just forward of the wing on the outer side for Eaglehawk.
Ball up again, flying over the top, but Martin too strong to bring the hands down. Good tackle applied. Wharton extracts the ball, and almost a chance for the Dragons, but the Borough have held up well in defence. Scrubby kick towards Holmes. Cutting it off in front there was a teammate in Worm. Has to be clean, and good handballs, and now Sandhurst are out, and they're going to switch it out here to the broadcast side. Bit of chance here for Hand to sort of control this ball, and it's a terrible kick, although Zimmer works into space right on the boundary line to mark. True centre wing now for Zimmer. Doesn't have a lot going for him, has to hold this one up, goes short, nice kick, marked there by Broadbent. There's Broadbent, 3 goals last week, and a big part of this Dragons forward line, although his kick is a shocker, and out of bounds on the full right in front of the coach's box, and Eaglehawk will take the free kick now through Daly.
Bit of a blue going on too over in the middle of the ground. So Daly going to go defensively. Jesse Collins also chips it defensively. And the Borough work it through Davies out towards the outer side now. And they can move the ball down towards the swimming pool side of the ground. Is that not out there?
Sure is.
I think it is. So he's taken the mark for Eaglehawk on the outer side, or the swimming pool side. Very stagnant, the build-up for both sides as they just share it around. Eaglehawk chip it forward now. No mark taken. The handball comes across there, and the Borough will go inside the 50. Long on the bounce. It might go all the way. It won't. Well, it will, but it'll bounce the wrong side of the post. It's a behind. So Eaglehawk now 1-1-7. Sandhurst 3 behinds. 12 gone into the first term. Thanks to our sponsor, Aussie Disposals.
Paul Pratt with the kick out, goes short. Finds a teammate there in Wilkinson. Comes back across to Paul Pratt. What are you seeing out here early stages, Norm?
Look, I'm seeing a good tight contest. Both sides putting plenty of pressure on the opposition and making it hard to get a clean disposal away.
Martin links up nicely there with his teammate in Stagg, and this ball's up to the wing. Free kick's been pulled. You heard Ronnie groan there, a bit of a high contact as Collins will get it. Ignores the handball and now chips it short to Strawn, although Broadbent comes over the front and marks. This is exactly where he kicked that one on the full from before. Let's see what he does with this one. Goes in the same spot. This time it's a better direction. Worked underneath it nicely, I thought, but the umpire's given a free kick to Oscar McKinley against Clay Davies.
Interesting. I thought you could use your body, but you couldn't use your hands.
Yeah, exactly.
60 out from goal. McKinley goes long in the direction of Parry. Has to be strong here. Almost grabbed it. Ducking in nicely out of the tackle was Worm, and he's caught high again. So a 4th chance in front of goal now for Sandhurst, and good work by the young fella to get the free kick.
Up for his first game today, so could be an interesting start to his senior career.
Well, they need this one, Ronnie. They've been poor in front of goal.
Well, they've had certainly more of the play than Eaglehawk. They just haven't been able to put it on the scoreboard. So, yeah, you're right. Still haven't kicked the goal. So, can the young fella get the job done?
He'll take the kick from about 30 out. Similar angle to where Nick Stagg missed just 5 minutes earlier. Let's see if he can correct the equal. No, he's done exactly the same thing and pushed it left. And, in fact, so far left, it's hit the boundary, hit the behind post and out of bounds on the full.
Disappointing. Eaglehawk 1-1-7. Sandhurst remain 3 behinds as Glenn Daly will bring it in for Eaglehawk. Doesn't see anything short that he likes, so eventually he does. Chips it to Collins, who leads up the ground, or is it? It's a Borough player tight on the boundary anyway. Gee, a few of them have got the hair, the long hair and the man bun thing or ponytail thing going on. Eaglehawk working to the middle, and through they go. Gee, those numbers are hard to pick up. Long kick for Eaglehawk is going to be touched right on the line. Did you pick up who that was, Josh?
No, we'll just put it down to someone else.
Well, it's a behind, so Eaglehawk 1-8. Sandhurst 3 behinds, and we played almost 15 minutes of the first term.
Nervy times now for Sandhurst in defence. Wilkinson's kick out was poor, and they've got a chance to steady, although the mark's taken out the back there.
That's McPhee, I've got that one.
So McPhee about 50 out from goal. We'll have to look for a pass. Umpire tells him to move it on, so he trips it across short to Thompson. Not a lot of space for him to move either, so has to hold it up. And he's going to go further still inside 50 now. Real high ball at the back is Wilkinson. As a free kick's been pushed, it is. So in the back against Sandhurst, and it's going to go the way of the Borough. I think it might be McPhee again, possibly.
Or is it Williams? Wait till he turns around.
So this will hurt the Dragons if this one goes through. They've been poor in front of goal, but have had most of the possession. And a chance for Eaglehawk bang in front to get their second. Kick on the way, and it's straight through the middle. That one hurts. Second goal on the board for the Borough. And
we're both wrong, it's McIver.
McIver. Those white numbers are not doing us any favours. Nonetheless, second goal for Eaglehawk, 2-2-14. Sandhurst 3 behind. 16 minutes gone first term, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
Going around the grounds, Norm, Golden Square off to a flyer, 3 goals straight, 18, lead Storm yet to score.
And that was a good build-up from Eaglehawk then. Glenn Daly got the ball out on the wing. He put it back into the back flank, and they cut straight into the centre to Sean Nott, who'd made space.
So back in the middle, tossed up, neither ruckman got a real paw on it. Chance for Harper, just got a little toe poke. McPhee feeds a wide handball for the Borough out towards Daly. Confronted, goes back to McPhee. Coughed it up in the tackle. Sandhurst pressure's been good here, and they'll win the ball, the Dragons. Eventually, it comes out. Chance here for Broadbent. In fact, it may have been Parry, the ladder, and he got the ball forward for the Dragons. It goes inside the 50, no mark taken. Good defence by the Borough, knock it wide. Sandhurst can reload. Collins with a one arm. How good was that? He's got a touch of class, Norm, hasn't he?
Oh, he has. He put the right hand up, knocked it down into the left, and he'll go back and have a shot for goal. And let's see whether he's learned from the other players. He's got to look at the right-hand goal post and let the ball just drift back.
Well, he's probably 35 out directly in front. Eaglehawk have got 2 goals. Sandhurst have had their opportunities, but haven't been able to put a major on the board. So surely this time in the experienced hands of Andy Collins, they can kick the goal. He's not going to go for a goal. That was interesting. Chipped it in short and it's been spoiled. Borough can run it out. Kick comes defensively out towards our broadcast position. Dragons will go back inside though, this time through Price. Little chip, missed the target. Plenty of numbers for the Dragons. Parry got a handball, put Collins under enormous pressure. Goes back to Parry. He can't do anything with it. The Borough defence is working well. Still they persist, Sandhurst. It comes out to Wharton. Gets a half a snap around the body. Didn't travel far. All off the ground. That was somewhat dangerous by the Dragons. Eaglehawk reciprocate and knock the ball wide. Now they should be able to run it out of defence.
A big booming kick up towards the wing, and it's going to work out beautifully for Jack Fallon leading up. He's going to move it quickly now, and so he should. He's got Sean Nott all one-on-one. Kicks it to space. I think the boundary line's going to beat them all, and it is. But great play by Eaglehawk to clear defence with such speed. And once again, it's that man, Jack Fallon, who's so often involved in their link-up play. And the ball will be tossed up about 40 out from goal.
That was young Worm who had that shot out of mid-air.
Yeah.
Geez, I'll tell you what, I'm glad it didn't connect onto one of his teammates or his opposition players. It would have hurt, I'll tell you.
And a strange decision, to say the least, from Andy Collins to opt for
Yeah.
pass about 40 metres out from goal. Now a chance for the Borough once again to hurt them. Ball comes to ground. Fighting over the top was Broadbent. Good tackle applied. Now a chance for Eaglehawk. Snap around the corner. It's a goal! What a ripper! Out of nothing, an Eaglehawk goal, and I think it's McPhee who's
it is.
snapped true on the right boot, was tied up against the boundary line and was able to pick up the ball and snap in one smooth motion, and all of a sudden Eaglehawk are out to a 17-point lead, 3-2-20. Sandhurst 3 behinds, 20 minutes gone, just ticking into time 1 on the first quarter. choices for him, Bendigo. Bulk Carpets is the place to go. And it is a beautiful finish there by McPhee, Norm. That was amazing.
It was amazing, and it's an interesting build-up for between the two sides, because when Sandhurst come forward, they're chipping the ball around. When Eaglehawk come forward, they're kicking it long, getting it in where it's dangerous.
Free kick in the middle. I don't know what that was for. The umpire didn't even bounce the ball, but it will go to Martin of Sandhurst, who just bangs it long, Strawn the target, up with the one arm, couldn't take the mark. Chance for young Worm again. Ball knocked from his grasp. Now there's a whistle.
Throw,
and it will go back to the Borough.
Yeah, the centre infringement was because an Eaglehawk player ran in as the umpire was ready to bounce.
Good on you, Norm. You spotted that.
He's got better eyes than both of us, Norm.
I think he has. He was right onto it. The Borough bring it wide. I think that's Mullen who's gone up towards the wing, but it's been cut off by Wilkinson of Sandhurst, who kicks it back inside their 50. Miles dropped the mark he probably should have taken, but he's got enough time to butter up and then bang it on the boot, back out towards the wing. Hommelhoff in good position. Couldn't hold the mark. Ground level, Holmes did well for Sandhurst. Got it off to a teammate who chipped it forward. Missed the target initially. It's close to the boundary. It is over and out of bounds. The target there was Coughlin. The ball to be thrown in. 75 around from the Sandhurst goal. 21 gone first quarter. Eaglehawk 3-2-20. Sandhurst 3 behinds.
Martin in the ruck. He's been dominant, to say the least, in this first term, and probably give that one to Neves as a ball shoveled out. Chance for the Borough to respond. Here's Neves on the end of it. Ducks around a tackle. Beautiful work by the big fella. His kick just had a little bit too much juice on it, although Hommelhoff can follow up on the wing. And a chance now with Harper to link up with McPhee, and they're out. Hommelhoff has the ball now in space.
Done.
Can enter inside 50. Ducking around once again and comes back here to McPhee, although he's wrapped up in a strong tackle by Jed Zimmer, who has been good here for the Dragons across defence, and will be tossed up right on the boundary line, I reckon, just inside 50.
Round the grounds, Golden Square 3-1-19. Lead Storm 1 goal, straight 6.
The umpire elects to toss this one up. Gives them a bit of space to work with. Martin now, he's just too strong for Neves, although his tap was pretty poor. Collins gets on the end of it, snaps towards the dangerous goal square.
Yeah.
Flying over the top was Fallon. Chance for Sandhurst to defend strong here. Kick comes out, although it's all the numbers with Eaglehawk. Tanner gets stripped in the tackle. Umpire lets it go. Holmes, the defender. Umpire probably can get a free kick here. Didn't have it. Yeah, going to be Stagg, the recipient. Got high and then didn't even have it. In fact, it's going to come back to Holmes, correction.
Just before that, the pick-up by Tanner was excellent for a young kid. Just picked it up one hand on the run.
Holmes comes short now to Broadbent, where he's been working pretty hard across this broadcast wing to start the game. His kick was chopped off before Stagg could get hands on it. Good work there by the Eaglehawk player in McPhee. Comes out to Collins. Long kick inside 50. Out the back is an Eaglehawk player, although the goal line beats them both. It was almost a mark taken, minor score. And Sandhurst now trail by 3 straight goals. Eaglehawk 3-3-21. The Dragons 3 behinds.
Paul Pratt brings it in, finds his teammate there for the Dragons. That was Hand, and they've worked it towards half-back. Eaglehawk have been able to turn it over and send it back from whence it come. Long ball on the breeze. I reckon it was Fallon, and it's a goal. So Eaglehawk are going on their merry way here, and Sandhurst are paying the price for being inaccurate in front of goal. It's 23 first term. Eaglehawk 4-3-27. Sandhurst now just 3 behinds, thanks to Holden Colorado at Poyser Holden. Here's Norm Jenkin.
Sorry, Norm. Added Harry Trott at South Bendigo 1 goal, straight 6 to Kangaroo Flat 1 point. And the big game added to Wade Street 3-1-19. Golden Square to Storm 1 goal, straight 6.
It'll be interesting to see whether it changes in the second quarter, but if Eaglehawk keep bombing it in long, Sandhurst defenders are going to get nervous.
Martin with the clearance now for the Dragons. His kick was chopped off there by Dickens, although works in the path of Stagg, although he's too fumbly. Pressure's right on here. Flicks a handball out to Coughlin. He's much cleaner with it. Nice kick to McKinley. Chopped the arms. Umpire let it go. Zimmer picks it up, shows his speed, and dribbles the opening goal for Sandhurst. Much needed. And great work by the youngster Jed Zimmer. Rove the pack. McKinley probably stiff not to get a free kick, but nonetheless, after a good quarter of dominance, you could say, Sandhurst finally hit the scoreboard. 139, cut the margin back to 18 points. Eaglehawk 4-3-27. 25 minutes gone first term.
We just saw then the long kick in from Sandhurst. First time they've done it this quarter, and the defenders certainly got nervous, and they were able to make the most of it. Zimmer behind the pack and was able to run into an open goal.
So back in the middle. Gee, the Dragons barely needed that one. They'd love another one before quarter time. Still think the breeze is slightly blowing to the Barnard Street end to which Eaglehawk are kicking. So that's probably fair enough that they're in front. G. Martin got a clean hand on that. Working hard for Eaglehawk and almost getting a kick out was Collins. It was half charged down. Of course, there's Collinses on each side today. Dragons leading the race for the ball close to the boundary. That was Price. Did he keep it alive? He did just. He got it off to Wharton, who got a kick away. Might have been taken high before the kick. The umpire agrees. It's a free kick to Wharton on the outer side on the boundary. True wing. 4-3-27 Eaglehawk. Sandhurst 1-3-9. 25 gone into this first quarter, so well into red time. Wharton with the free. Going to just chip it short. That's okay. Hits the target. Stagg. Marks. Wants to also chip short into Coughlin. So they're slowly working it forward, the Dragons. Now the longer ball inside the 50. Didn't really favour his teammate, that kick. The ball in dispute. Holmes comes out barrel-chested. Tries to win the footy. Tried to get it to Perry. Intercepted by McPhee. Dragged down on the tackle, though. Still working hard is Coughlin for Sandhurst. Wins it back. Chips it to the top of the goal square. No mark taken. Eaglehawk over the numbers. Should be able to get a kick out of defence, and they do. Miles clears the defensive area.
Well, it's going to come back in as quickly as it came in. So I thought. Great smother applied there by McPhee. Hommelhoff now comes out to Bateson. Spinning handball. Parry first to it, although great pressure applied by Williams at the back, and a strong tackle as well. Parry just gets a handball out. Strawn now has to be clean. Good handball over the top to Matty Gray. His kick is a dribbler, although he's out of bounds before he could dispose of it. And it'll be thrown in on true centre wing. Great smother there. I think it might have been McPhee. Nonetheless, to stop another inside 50. Sandhurst have definitely had more of them. It's just been Eaglehawk that have been able to make the most of it. Can they get one more? Can't be long left. Climbing all over the top. Umpire lets it go with Neves. Ball on ground level. Great tackle by Stagg. Umpire lets it go. Strong bump applied by Holmes, and he'll mop up again. He's a tough fella. They jump on top of him, and the umpire will ball it one up again.
Well, you can hear him from this side of the fence, Norm. It's a bit ordinary if you're on the end of it.
It is young Tanner there, but he wore it, and now he's getting a just deserved break.
Umpire's going to pay a free kick this time once again. And it's shepherding, so Neves jumping all over Martin, and umpire deemed that he'll get the free. So they'll just want to hold on now, the Borough. Neves dumps it long in the knot direction. Beats all of them at the back there, taking some time to mop up his hand. His handball was poor. Oh, geez, that's a big hit there on the Sandhurst player in Tanner, the debutant for Sandhurst. And
bit of argy-bargy going on.
They're not happy with it. He'll get the free kick, will Nick Tanner, in his first game across half-back. Doesn't have a lot to go to. Has to go long in the Martin direction, and that's where this kick will go. Flying over the back, one grab, but over the boundary line for a throw-in. Some good numbers piling into the QEO now as well, so they should. Good day for footy. Currently, Eaglehawk leading by 17 points.
He's doing the right moves, considering he's got to try and jump all the time. Like, Martin's a much bigger man, so he's probably holding his own in the ruck.
Good chance now against Strawn as that man gets the tap down, smashes it into space. Holmes overshoots it. Collins tries to paddle along. Good tackle applied, and there's the siren to end the first quarter. And it's been all Eaglehawk after some poor shots on goal by the Dragons. They lead 4-3-27. Sandhurst 1-4-10.
Going around the grounds, the big game added to Golden Square sees Golden Square. The game's been held up a while with Nathan Holt being stretched off the ground, believed to be a bad ankle injury. More details with that at half-time with Mike Lowther. Scoreline at the moment, Golden Square 3-1-19 to Storm 2-1-13. The game is here saying, do you reckon you can get better numbers on the back of the jumpers at Eaglehawk, Ronnie? So even the spectators finding it hard. Let's get the second term underway on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Ron Rogers.
It will be Neves and Martin. Martin clearly down that time, and the Dragons will go forward. Coughlin up to half forward. No mark. Collins a crumb. Gets a real good look at the goal and makes no mistake. Bounces it through for the Dragons. Opening goal within 10 seconds of the start of the second term. All class. Andrew Collins, his first, the Dragons, go to 2-3-15. That score at quarter time was wrong on the scoreboard. We had it as 1-4. It was actually 1-3. So now they're 2-3-15. They trail Eaglehawk 4-3-27. And Norm Jenkins, he only needs a little bit of space, Andy Collins, doesn't he?
Well, that's right, but that was a better entry into the forward line by Sandhurst. Maybe we'll see Eaglehawk chip it around this quarter. I hope we don't. I hope they keep going long, but Sandhurst took a leaf out of Eaglehawk's book from the first quarter.
Much needed goal for the Dragons. Back in the middle. Martin and Neves in the ruck. Neves climbs all over him and gets the tap. Broadbent for the Dragons, brings it down. Daly couldn't control it, and now the Dragons are off inside 50 again through Coughlin. Beautiful delivery over the top. Free kick surely to Strawn, and it is. McGlashan jumped all over his back, and Taylor Strawn will get the kick from about 30 out. Slight angle, and a chance to kick Sandhurst second in a minute. Once again, that man Coughlin, beautiful kick inside 50, and he's an important ball user for this Dragon side. Strawn smacked one into the post in the first quarter. Will be keen to respond. This one's fading left. Is it snuck in? No, minus score again. So poor result for Taylor Strawn. Takes the score, Sandhurst 2-4-16. Eaglehawk 4-3-27. Minute and a half into this second term, and good start for the Dragons early.
So Daly will bring it in for the Borough. Sides come out towards the grandstand side of the ground. Well, it wasn't a good option in the end because it's a Dragons mark, and they'll send it back from whence it come, although the kick-in board didn't really hit the target. Stagg did well, got it off to a teammate who put his teammate under pressure. They get a little toe poke forward through Stagg. It was almost a charge down. It's at half forward for Sandhurst. Hummelhoff might have got a push in the back, but he got a handball out for Eaglehawk. They may be able to clear, but they're making heavy weather of it. The wide handball back towards Hummelhoff set him a task. Did brilliantly, got it off, and I think that's Harper running the outer wing.
Harper takes a second bounce as he streams outside. Little kick inside 50 was poor though. Spoil coming in over the top was good by hand. He's wrapped up in a firm tackle and will have to be balled up on true centre half forward for the Hawks. Good way to stunt some run that they had there, the Borough. Tossed up again. Martin and Neves becoming a compelling battle. Neves just grabs it out of the ruck and throws it on the boot towards the knot direction. He's 2-on-1 though, although roving the pack at the bottom is Hommelhoff. He snapped towards goal. Is a super one. Jed Hommelhoff rove that pack like Cyril Rioli and finished it like him as well. Real good bounce back goal for the Borough. 5-3-33. They lead Sandhurst 2-4-16. It's been a fiery 3 minutes to start this second quarter on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Yeah, and that was good work in the ruck by Neve then. He got the ball. He actually positioned himself and got the ball to ground. He was then able to pick it up and ball to boot quick, and it gave Eaglehawk every opportunity. And Hommelhoff, well, that's where you've got to be when you're a small forward, front and centre.
So a goal apiece, early going second term. Ball back in the middle will be, again, the two protagonists, Neves. Oh, look at that rove. That was brilliantly done. Coughlin got a little kick, and Wharton marked it with the long sleeves. Little chip pass is good. They can go forward here. Parry, long to full forward. It's that Holmes racing back for the ball, it was, but he can't trap it in the field of play and will have a throw in the forward pocket for the Dragons, about 25 around from their goal. Eaglehawk 5-3-33, Sandhurst 2-4-16. We've travelled 4 minutes in the second term, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
And a good move by Sandhurst there, having Blair Holmes deep. He put pressure on the Eaglehawk defenders.
And a couple of good signs for the midfield. Some good clearances early as Strawn brings this one to ground. Coughlin the snap out of the pack. It's a ripper. Is it through? It is. He's been brilliant to start this second term as the skipper, Lee Coughlin. He puts that one straight through. And Sandhurst starting to show some good signs and starting, more importantly, to get some scoreboard efficiency. 3-4-22. Lead cut once again to 11 points. Eaglehawk 5-3-33. And Norm, if you were Andy Collins, this is exactly the response you would want from the Dragons.
That's right, yes. An excellent response. It was interesting that Collins didn't take very much time at quarter time to get his point across. It was short, it was sharp. They were back out and ready to go, and they certainly are on the boil.
Knocked down the ruck. Neves will do his own roving. Got a handball towards Fallon. He couldn't trap it. He goes again. No, it's pinched. Kick forward for the Dragons by Paul Pratt. Up to half forward. No mark. Parry did well. Got a handball off. Chance now for Stagg to go across the ground to the leading player, Collins. Pushed in the back.
Over
Umpire
the
says it's
shoulder.
a free. Sorry, Norm, what was that?
The umpire said over the shoulder.
Is
in
that
the
what
end.
he said?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll push or either the shoulder, either, but it's a free kick to Colin. Now on the back of the breeze, you reckon he'd have a shot from here?
He passed one off from a similar
I
distance
know,
to
it
the
was
first
amazing.
quarter.
I couldn't believe my eyes.
I think he'll be doing the same.
Well, he passed 2 off in the first quarter, and neither of them went through. So I think you'll find he'll have take it on his own shoulders.
Well, he's only about 35 out, perhaps 40 when he kicks, so the breeze right at his back. Collins fires, lovely looking drop punt off the boot, and it's another goal to the Dragons. Collins gets his second goal, and the margin is just 5 points. 6 minutes, second term. Thanks to Holden, Colorado at Poyser Holden. Eaglehawk 5-3-33. Sandhurst 4-4-28. Here's Norm Jenkin.
Yeah, you wonder now whether Eaglehawk had done enough in that first quarter, only getting the 4 goals on the board. But Sandhurst, to their credit, they've come out, they're going long, and they're putting pressure on the Eaglehawk defence.
3 goals in 6 minutes to the Dragons in this second term so far.
And dominating the midfield battle in this second quarter, Stagg has been brilliant with a beautiful delivery to Collins to set up that goal. So we're back in it. What can Eaglehawk do in response? Martin brings it down. Neves so many times has gotten the ball and a good handball off, and Eaglehawk can go inside 50 again. Hommelhoff the target. Good spoil from the back. Coming in from the side is Paul Pratt. He's wrapped up in a nice Hommelhoff tackle and we locked up 45 from goal. Neves has been really positive, hasn't he, Norm, out of the guts for Eaglehawk?
It has been. I mean, he does the ruck work and he does the roving himself. It's been very good.
A chance again against Martin. Tries to work him out, but Martin's too strong. Brings it down to Zimmer. Quick, has to be quick as Stagg. Chased down. Brilliant tackle by, is it Williams? I'm not too sure. Ball will be moved off quickly via Collins inside 50. Oh, the back! Flying there, although unrealistic attempt, says the umpire, and pays advantage to Sandhurst, who can repel out of defence.
Long ball up towards half forward. Well done by the Borough. They just knocked the ball down and then got a clearing kick out of defence. It ends up with Daly. Conchibit corridor. That was a good kick. Oh, play on, and the handball was charged down. Collins pinches it for Sandhurst. Handball off to a running teammate. And they'll get a kick, or will they? In the end, Zimmer decides to stop prop. Handball off to Coughlin, who can drive it inside the 50 or up towards the 50 at least. No mark taken. The Eaglehawk defence under a lot of pressure, pushing the back. And it's a Borough free. I reckon there might be Conforti back there who'll take it, but it's not his best kick, Josh.
Genuine grubber. McGlashan has to be clean here. Tries to win the free kick, but boundary line beats them all. Will be thrown in on the wing. Great.
Crowd finding a bit of voice. It's a pretty close game there, just 5 points in it.
Yeah, it's a ripper. It's what we wanted here on a beautiful day at the QEO. Home of Bendigo footy. On Bendigo's best, as Neves thumps this one about 10 metres out with a fist and will gain some yardage before Zimmer takes it out over the line. Good result there for the Borough.
Around the grounds at Wade Street, Storm right back in this contest now. In fact, they lead 5-4-34 to Golden Square 3-1-19. And Harry Trott, South Bendigo 3-5-23 lead. Kangaroo Flat 1-1-7.
Andy Collins getting a much-deserved rest on the bench after a great start to this second term. Ball back in. Over the back, couldn't quite hold on to it. There was the youngster in Morris, although the handball comes out and Isaac Ruff can clear for the Dragons. Good kick into space. Price has time to collect and settle and chip a little dribbler, although Strawn had some work to do. Great tackle there. I think it was Dickens for Borough, and he's won a free kick, just pinned the arm, and now a chance to rebound for Borough.
Kick. Williams has marked it, or paid the mark at least. He'll run off half back for Eaglehawk. No one comes at him, so he just handballs off. Put Daly under the pump, and he's tackled and lost it. And he'll be penalised for holding the ball. Blair Holmes was sweating on him. And he'll take the free right on the 50. And perhaps not beyond the realms of possibility that he could dob this on the back of the breeze. Let's see what he does. He's going back like he's going to have a deliberate shot, so he thinks he's got the leg. He fires it. He strikes it beautifully. Long, long goal. Terrific kick by Blair Holmes. That's his first goal of the afternoon. And the Dragons, I reckon, have hit the front once the scoreboard updates. They have 5-4-34. Eaglehawk 5-3-33. 10 minutes gone. Second term, thanks to Aussie Disposals. Here's Norm Jenkin.
Yeah, you've got to say that Sandhurst's first quarter against that breeze was very good, where they were able to hold Eaglehawk and not have too much damage on the scoreboard, and now they're making the most of it in this quarter.
Incredible response by Sandhurst, and we've got a real game on our hands now at the QEO. They lead by 1 point. Let's see what Eaglehawk can do in the middle. Once again, Neves in the ruck. He's won some dominance. Harper, quick handball out there to a teammate in Miles. Long kick towards centre half forward, although there's no one there, and Paul Pratt can take an easy mark. It goes with the right boot. Out the back here, and they've got space. Brilliant kick. Broadbent can play on. Link up with Price. He's kicking the Strawn direction. A lot of height for him to work with. And out the back, Strawn. Strong hands. And we'll go back for a shot in front of goal to extend this lead. And I think this will be their 5th goal in a row, Sandhurst. They're on fire. He's not mucking around, Strawn. He's missed 2 today, so he's keen to fix his goal-kicking errors. Can he with this kick? No, it's a shocker. He's having a tough
practice
time.
for him on Tuesday night or Thursday night, Norm, I think.
Yes, he didn't stay over the football then. He leant back on it, and of course, as soon as he leant back, it meant it was always going to go left.
So the margin is 2 points in favour of the Dragons, and we're ticked past the 11-minute mark of the second term as Eaglehawk bring it in. Might be Harper with the footy, I reckon, who's just chipping it down the line, deep in the pocket. Now, what's the umpire saying? Saying it went out on the full.
Yeah, well, that was interesting. I didn't think it was, but the umpire was right there.
Morris will take it for Sandhurst. I didn't think it was either, Norm. But Morris for the Dragons will send it back from whence it came, inside the 50. Up high there was Fallon, didn't hold the mark. Holmes again got the footy, got it off to a teammate. They're under pressure, the Dragons. They're trying to get a clear shot at goal. The Borough defence tried and come in. Collins, that was the Eaglehawk version. Dives in, so does Daly. Wins it. Williams can get off half back for the Borough. Got a bit of space. Kicks it up towards the wing. Price leads in the race for the Dragons. The ball goes out of play. So we'll have a throw in. True wing, outer side of the ground. 12 gone second term. Thanks to Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets. Eaglehawk 5-3-33. Trail Sandhurst 5-5-35.
Sandhurst's been super this quarter, and that's led well and truly by their coach, Andrew Collins, who's back on the ground and in this contest. He'll jump all over Stagg. Yeah, free kick going the way of Brodie Collins this time. Nice chip to Daly. Doesn't hit him on the chest, but he's got time to pick it up and deliver a kick of his own into space now for McPhee. Morris applies a tackle. I didn't have it. Umpire lets it go incredibly. And now coming in over the top, McPhee applies a tackle of his own. And the Sandhurst bench, you can hear him. Lots of praise for Dylan Morris in that contest. He was great.
Yeah, but it should have been a free against him. You can't tackle a bloke without a football.
Don't disagree with you there, Norm. As Strawn taps this down to Collins. Gets a handball out. Now Neves can dribble a kick in the direction of Thompson. Good well to apply some pressure over the back. Probably in the back, and the umpire's going to pay it that way. Free kick for Sandhurst. Thompson was strong last week in one of his early games. He's been a bit quiet. Looks like this will be Ross to move this ball on. Goes long towards the wing. Martin, the target. At the back is Miles. Good spoil applied. Stagg running onto it. Got to sucker off mid-air and gains about 30 yards. It'll probably trickle over the boundary, but a good result inside 50 for Sandhurst. Some nice soccer skills as we obviously head into the World Cup. Stagg's obviously been practicing as young Nick. And it'll be tossed up inside Sandhurst's 50.
So it's a 2-point lead to the Dragons as we get to midway through the second quarter. Kicked 5 goals to 1 this term so far, Sandhurst on the back of the breeze. Martin knocked it to the back of the pack, which was clever, but he didn't find a teammate. Harper got a handball to Miles, put him under the pump a little bit, but now they'll get out Eaglehawk. Kick out wide towards the boundary. They can try and work it forward here, Eaglehawk. They're going to kick defensively, which was interesting. I reckon that's Conforti who's marked the ball all the way back on the boundary line. So he's going to go down the line with the kick. No mark. Chance for Sandhurst to reload here. Rough. Got a little toe poke to it. That worked. Sandhurst can now drive the ball long. Deep inside their 50. Martin, the target, had 2 or 3 around him. The ball was spoiled. Is it still in play? I don't think so. Coughlin takes it over before he can get a clean possession. Throw in.
Around the grounds at Wade Street, 6-4-40 Storm to 3-1-19 Golden Square. The Bloods 3-5-23 to Kangaroo Flat 1-1-7. The AFL, it's the Demons by 16 points over the Western Bulldogs, and Hawthorn 35 lead Port Adelaide 32.
Free kick out of the throw-in, going to go the way of Eaglehawk, and
No advantage there, interestingly.
No. So it'll be McPhee to take the kick. Daly a little bit sore after that contest with Martin, but looks like he's trudging along okay as McPhee's kick surely holding. Umpire lets it go and goes out over the boundary line. You think Eaglehawk have responded well here, Norm, to what Sandhurst have offered up this quarter?
I think they have. They've sort of stemmed the fast play on form of Sandhurst for the first 10 minutes of the quarter, and it's back in an arm wrestle now.
Strawn against Neves in the ruck. In fact, it's McGlashan who brings it down. Umpire's going to pull a free kick out, going to go the way of that man. In fact, it's McPhee who gets this ball. Doesn't have a lot to go to. Across half back. Umpire going to tell him to move it on, so he goes for a short little chipping ball. Collins of the Andrew variety chops it off and forces another throw in. Sandhurst by 2 points. 16 minutes gone in this second quarter. It's been all the Dragons, led mainly thanks to that man with 2 goals in Andrew Collins. Thrown in again. Strawn, he gets worked under it by McGlashan, gets a clean tap down, and they can repel now through Daly. Kick towards centre half forward. Knott has to block out the sun, and in doing so, Gray can apply a spoil. Strong over the top was Wilkinson and will force another ball up. About 70 out from goal.
Probably Eaglehawk will be happy with this, Norm. They're just holding the ball up now and not allowing Sandhurst,
That's right. Sandhurst can't get it in the clear and run like they did the start of the quarter.
Collins, he should be penalised for holding the ball. That's of the Sandhurst variety. Well, advantage is paid. Eaglehawk get the ball inside their 50. Poor kick by McPhee. Overcooked it. Coming in and taking the mark for the Dragons was Hand. Spreads it wide out towards this broadcast side of the ground. Standing underneath it was Stagg. Took the mark. Left foot down the line. Made it a little hard. I reckon it's Price, is it? No, it's not. It's young Worm who got the footy. He chipped it in short. That was a good kick, and the mark taken by McKinley. Sanders trying to work it inside their 50. Long ball now to Martin. Might have been held. No free. Sanders tried to work it forward, but in the end, the Borough will come out of defence off the outer side. The long ball. No mark taken. Eaglehawk player at the back did very well. This way, that way. That might have been Saunders, I reckon, who got the ball into the middle of the ground. Is that an Eaglehawk mark? No.
It's in the
Stagg's
back.
in the back of his opponent. It will be an Eaglehawk ball now.
It's McIver who had the free right in the middle of the ground. Plays on immediately. Kicks towards the Fallon direction. It's poor, and Wilkinson can come in and spoil. He's been great as the defender for the Dragons. Comes out now. Tricky work. Wharton dragged off it by Fallon, and umpire will ball it up.
Bit of an arm wrestle at the moment, Norm.
It is an arm wrestle at the moment, Ronnie, and it'll be interesting to see who can break the tag.
Tossed up again. Martin back in the ruck after spending some time up forward. Andy Collins now to Zimmer. Dribbling little kick up, and Stagg shrugs off the tackle but goes over the line and gives young Brendan Tanner just a little word.
Something to think about.
Of course, in his coach's number is Tanner. Interesting choice there, but I haven't called his name too many times, so there's a bit of work to do to fill the boots as Stagg gets this handball out. Free kick's been pulled here. It's going to go the way of Nick Stagg, who has probably been Sandhurst's best player, I reckon, so far today. Been getting plenty of it. Great switch into the middle of the ground, although it's risky. Coming in from the side, Daly, good spoil, although it landed in the path of Strawn. Paul Pratt's there for the Dragons as well, although ducking out of the tackle there was Bateson. Good kick towards Harper, and he's got numbers broadcast side in Neves. Neves can play on. Kick towards centre half forward. Thompson the target. Flying over the back. Thompson, a beautiful mark on his own teammate. Moves the ball quickly again off to McIver. Good kick towards the Bateson direction. Couldn't hold his teammate out. And now Sandhurst have the numbers to rebound through Price.
It's a kick long and wide towards the wing. And that's a good effort by Broadbent, who slides in on his haunches and takes the mark for the Dragons. So it's a 2-point ball game. Sandhurst by 2 points. As we're getting to the time-on period of the second. Now there's a whistle.
Oh,
that long
go
kick.
the other way. I was going to say.
So a push will go to the Borough. And they'll take the free kick and work the ball forward. Not a good kick. Broadbent in good position, coming late for Eaglehawk. Might have been McPhee, and the ball's over the boundary line.
Thompson's hurt himself after that high-flying hanger. He's on hands and knees here.
It was a ripping mark. Now, it's going to be an Eaglehawk ball. I'm not sure exactly what was going on there, but it will be an Eaglehawk ball. So it might be Bateson out there who's got it. He centres it corridor. And Daly gets a kick inside the 50. No mark taken. Burra trying to work the ball out. Collins is underneath all that. That's Eaglehawk Collins. Well tackled this time by Sandhurst's Zimmer, and we'll have a throw up about 35 out from the Eaglehawk goal.
So just ticking into time on in this second quarter. Martin with the spoil. Out of the ruck, brings it down. Zimmer, good hands, although Fallon busts through 3 or 4 tackles. Couldn't find a teammate with the handball, and another ball up, getting slightly closer to goal. It's very dangerous in these areas. Jack Fallon at the stoppage. One to watch out for. Tossed up again. Martin and Neves. Martin tries to flick it out the back. Good tackle applied there by Collins. Dribbling ball by Paul Pratt. Doesn't get anywhere, and Price, well held. His ball somehow still in. And now finally it will go out.
Last 5 or 10 minutes, Norm. Not much scoring going on, and it's sort of one end to the other, but neither side can really break clear in their forward 50.
No, it's back to as it was in the first quarter, Ronnie, that neither side can get a break.
Out the back, Bateson manages to get his hands on it, although his kick's been cut off by Price, who can rebound for Sandhurst. Has to be careful with this kick. It's a good one there to his teammate in Josh Hand. Fallon slips over, allows him to play on. A great kick. Parry tried getting a mark, only got one hand to it, and in doing so, forced it out over the boundary line. Right in front of us here at the QEO. It's the Dragons by 2 points. A good quarter by them. 22 minutes gone in this second term.
So, go on, Norm.
Yeah, a couple of poor options going forward, Eaglehawk, in the last couple of minutes have been costly.
So the throw in, Neves, perhaps the best of it. Holmes lays a good tackle and then tries to win the footy at ground level. He's surrounded by opponents. He's not going to get out of there, so we've got to throw up pretty much in the middle of the ground. It's just the attacking side of the centre for Eaglehawk. Martin, Neves up high, has been his want today, knocked it forward. Chance for the Borough here. That's Fallon with the footy, left foot from 50 to the top of the goal square. Now there's a whistle, and it's a Sandhurst ball. And it's going to come back here to Trenner, I think his name is, boys. Nick Trenner, is it? Number 16?
No, Nick Tanner.
Tanner. Well, whoever wrote my team sheet is going to get the sack. Tanner, long ball. Or Martin might have been over the shoulder. He'll take the free for the Dragons at half-back.
Yeah, it's been tough for Neves against the bigger body Martin. He's been trying to jump all over him in that time. Gave away the free kick. Martin's kick was a real grubber, but Wharton was there to cut it off. In the long sleeves. Looks inboard. Shocking kick by Wharton.
Gee, that was a terrible
Brody
kick.
Collins easily chops it off, and now a chance for them to rebound. Kick out in the direction of Harper. Has some time to pick it up. Looks for the short option. A nice little kick in to his teammate in Brendan Tanner. Hands it off. McPhee, kick inside 50. Good work there by Tanner of the Sandhurst variety. Spoil over the top. Falls to Collins. Quick handball out. Couldn't really work through it there was Madden. Stripped in the tackle. This is all across centre half forward here for Eaglehawk. Finally comes out to Brody Collins in space. Can go back inside 50. Out the back there. Couldn't quite hold on to it was his teammate in McPhee. Still on the boundary line. Bobbling around. Ducks and dives around one. Great play. Now can look for the short option, although in front, and a strong mark taken there by Isaac Ruff on the bigger bodied knot. And now they can spread out wide through a teammate in Matty Gray.
Can chip it very short. Holmes marks. So the Dragons' defence holding up pretty well this term. They've only conceded the 1 goal. Blair Holmes at half back on the main grandstand side of the ground. He's taking a lot of time. The umpire's giving him a fair bit of latitude. Now he calls him to play on. And he does just that. Kicks it long. Collins the target, couldn't hold the mark. Chance for Conforti, threw it on the boot around the body for Eaglehawk. Got it towards the middle of the ground. Now the Borough can go forward. Inside the 50, bouncing footy. Plenty of Dragons defenders there. Leading in the race for Sandhurst was Wilkinson, and he took the ball to the boundary, as good defenders do. We'll have a throw in. 65 around from the Eaglehawk goal on the swimming pool side. Sandhurst 5-5-35. Eaglehawk 5-3-33. Ticking up to the 25-minute mark of the second quarter.
Sun playing some problems for those Eaglehawk forwards out on that far flank. A couple of times they've had to blind their eyes from it. There's a short throw in and Martin just banks it 30 metres. And the umpires, has he paid that deliberate?
I reckon he might have.
That's stiff. Short throw in, so Martin had all the space. He's banged it 10 metres. It's gone out and he's paid deliberate against him. And I reckon Martin will be filthy about that. Regardless, Brody Collins with the free kick goes inside 50. Fallon was held, but umpire let it go. Comes out there to Bateson. Little kick. He's going to have to do a lot to get that through and didn't do enough. Minor score. And a rare minor score for Eaglehawk this quarter. Sandhurst still lead, 5-5-35. The Borough 5-4-34, 25 minutes gone.
I reckon it's Price with the ball. It is. He's going to do the kicking in for the Dragons.
Great kick.
Lovely ball. Found Stagg. He's at half-back for the Dragons. Put those iridescent green boots on. Goes long. Collins the target of Sanders. Can't mark. Well done, Wharton. Knocked it across towards a teammate. Goes back all the way to Martin. A bit of give and give stuff to Wilkinson, who chips it in short, and the mark taken for the Dragons. Well, pretty much at centre-half forward. Now the chip comes in, and Collins again on the end of it. So they keep looking for him, Norm, and they've found him again.
Yes, they do keep looking for him, Ronnie, and he made 3 good leads then, and they honoured the first and the third, and makes it difficult on the defence. I mean, Eaglehawk did well the first time, but couldn't do any good the second.
So it was McKinley, I was looking for his number, who brought that ball in, and that was a good, well-weighted kick, and Collins has marked. Kicked 2 goals already this quarter, so for his third of the term, he will shoot from about 45 to 50, but he does have the breeze at his back. Comes in, long, beautiful-looking drop. Punt, has it got the legs? I think it has. Goal umpire says full points. Terrific goal for Sandhurst, and a very critical one, close to half-time. The Dragons 6-5-41, lead Eaglehawk 5-4-34, 27 gone second term, thanks to Holden, Colorado at Poyser Holden. Around the grounds, Wallace?
Yeah, we'll look at what's happening at Wade Street, and it's Storm 7-5-47 lead, Golden Square 3-3-21. The Bloods taking control at Harry Trott 4-7-31 to 1-3-9 the Roos.
Well, both of those games, I reckon, are going pretty much to script, boys.
Yeah, I'd agree there, Ronnie. And in the MCDFNL quarter time, Maryborough Rovers 3-6, Lexington 1-3.
Back in the middle, Martin wins this tap. Can't get it anywhere. Parry to Coughlin, who's been superb for the Dragons. Goes inside 50 again. McKinley the target. Good spoil out the back. Ball comes to deck. Wharton over the top of it. Tons of numbers jump on him and will be balled up. This would be a real brilliant way to end the quarter if they could squeeze one more in, the Dragons. They've been superb. 5 goals in this term. 3 of those by their coach. Martin brings it down to Morris. Good tackle applied by Daly. Eaglehawk can spin a kick out, although some strong pressure being applied at the back there by Stagg. Jumping in over the top of it also is Isaac Ruff for the Dragons, and they're holding on strong here across centre-half forward. Stagg a little bit sore. The trainers came out to him earlier. I think he copped a bit of a knock in the contest, but he's still out there at this stoppage and going strong. Martin thumped out the back. Fallon got onto it and got a boot on it. Comes out to Knott. Now to Thompson. Got a number out wide, and they can look inside 50 again. Pushes, he kicks, but strong mark taken there by McPhee. Doesn't have a lot going for him. In fact, I think it's Hommelhoff.
Yep.
Man dropped behind play as he kicked. Umpire lets it go, and he's found a free kick somewhere. Going to go to the way of Sandhurst and the way of Jake Paul Pratt.
So pretty much last line of defence for the Dragons. Going to chip it in short. Collins, who's been everywhere in the back pocket, has kicked 3 goals, as you heard Josh say, this quarter. He's going to bring it wide. Sits up on the breeze a little bit. No mark taken. Chance for the Dragons here. McKinley got a handball out. Big Martin just slams it on the boot up towards the middle of the ground. Strawn was clever there. Used his body and then played for the free. Might have got it, but the umpire let it go. Picked up by Wharton, got it off towards a teammate there in Parry. He got it in towards the forward pocket. Chance here for the Dragons. Tight on the boundary. Little chip by Coughlin will find Strawn. Must have been barely the required distance, but the umpire said it was. And Strawn, who's had a few shots at goal today, is not going to have one here. He's going to chip it corridor, and it's an Eagle. It's a Sandhurst mark.
Holmes.
It is Holmes under all that. And he'll go back. Got a heavy knock for his work, Norm, but he'll go back and shoot for goal well within range. We saw him kick a long bomb earlier, so this one much closer.
Yes, well within distance, and you wouldn't think that this would worry Holmes. Blair will take anything that comes his way and get up and keep going.
So he'll shoot for goal from about 40, but again, he's got the breeze at his back. He kicked one from about 50 or 55 earlier. So very much kickable for his second goal of the quarter. And just to give Sandhurst that bit of an advantage on the breeze, he fires. And I reckon he snuck it in. He has. So that's his second. And at half time, it's a very handy lead on the back of that goal to Blair Holmes to Sandhurst. 7-5-47 to Eaglehawk 5-4-34.
And Blair Holmes very animated after that too, really got to his teammates. They ran into him, and I think they might have said a few things to a couple of the Eaglehawk players in and back with that ridiculous just T-shirt number this afternoon.
You know yourself, Wallace, I'm hard as nails, let's face it.
It's going to warm up in the second half on Videos Fresh FM, Josh Dahl.
Here we go, back in the middle. Super game on our hands, and it's Sandhurst will almost get the first clearance through Coghlan, although a strong tackle applied. Umpire pulls a free kick out for the Borough, and now they'll clear. First to the ball here will be Tanner for the Sandhurst Dragons. Out towards Wilkinson, although pressure coming in from all angles by Eaglehawk. Great tackle by Wilkinson, and umpire will ball it up on half-back. Fast start here in this third quarter. Eaglehawk must respond. We're smashed in that second term. Let's see what they've got after half-time. Comes out there to McPhee. Turns around and snaps on the right boot. Good kick inside the dangerous area, inside 50. Out the back, Thompson shrugs the tackle, gets a kick off, although it's offline and out of bounds on the full. Good signs, though, early here for Eaglehawk. Inside 50, nice and early. Taking this kick here for the Dragons will be Wilkinson. In fact, it's Paul Pratt, one of the experienced defenders returning to Sandhurst this year. Goes with the long kick.
Just look at that set up in the breeze.
And it has, and it's set up nicely for Dickens there, I think it is. In fact, it's Clay Davies. He's going back with some authority, albeit 50 out from goal. And looks like he's going to have a shot.
Well, we've seen a few kick from this range today, Norm. So he's, I don't know what sort of leg he's got, but the breeze has been carrying the ball a long way to that end of the ground.
It has. We saw Blair Holmes kick 2 from there in the last quarter.
Clay Davies returning to the side, sets sail for goal, and Martin's going to put a fist on it. Although it just stays in play, but will be swiftly rushed for the first score of this third quarter. Sandhurst 7-5-47. They lead Eaglehawk 5-5-35.
So Price brings it in. Paul Pratt takes the mark. Probably only 25 from the goal. He's defending. Going to switch it wide back to Price, who ran into the pocket. Takes the mark. That's a lovely kick. Mark will be taken here by Coghlan. Can run off half-back for the Dragons. Gets almost towards the wing. Up to the lead of Strawn. Marks beautifully and then kicks it very high. Up towards half-forward. It sits up in the breeze. Plenty of Eaglehawk defenders there. They couldn't take the mark, though. The ball falls under a sea of players. Umpire lets them play for a while and then says what? Holding the ball.
Yeah, interesting.
So the player over the footy was Nick Stagg. Free kick will go to Eaglehawk. The umpire nearly got in the way then as the Eaglehawk player worked the ball wide. Mark taken and worked forward for the Borough. No mark taken. It's on the wing. Or that might have been a high tackle on Paul Pratt. Umpire let it go. And in the end, it's fallen into the pack. We'll have a bounce. True wing broadcast side. It's a 2-goal ball game. Sandhurst 7-5-47. Eaglehawk 5-5-35.
Martin in the ruck brings it down. McPhee cleaned up, but managed to get a handball out. Spinning out of trouble. That was Broadbent. Nice slap on there by Bateson. Now umpire's pulled a free kick in the middle of the ground out of all this. Going to go the way of Eaglehawk. And looks like Williams will take the kick.
The umpire's certainly not going to.
In fact, I think it might be, Dylan
Mate,
Williams.
you're right the first time, mate.
Goes up towards centre half forward. Worked underneath it nicely, was not. Paul Pratt takes the intercept mark, plays on. Great work coming in from the side there. Neves just punched it back into the direction of his teammates, although Broadbent was first
Good
to
tackling.
it. Fallon, you heard it there, stripped. Morton. Umpire gave him the free kick, advantage paid. Not sure if it was beneficial to the Hawks because Sandhurst have numbers in defence. Parry, Soccer's off the ground. Comes back towards that man in Fallon. Strong bump applied
Good
there by
again.
Worm. It's all happening across half forward. Comes out to Brody Collins. Steps around one. Shucks it on the boot. It's going to go all the way to the line. It's through. Super goal. Great effort from outside 50. And after all that back and forth play, Brody Collins has kicked an absolute monster. And gives his teammates a couple of high fives. So he should. Great goal for Eaglehawk. They cut the lead to one straight kick. Sandhurst 7-5-47. Eaglehawk 6-5-41. 4 minutes gone. Thanks to Holden Colorado at Poyser Holden. Here's Norm Jenkin.
Yeah, that was a lovely sidestep by Brodie Collins then to get himself out of traffic and in the clear, and then he made no mistake when he settled.
So the ball back in the middle. We'll talk to Norm Jenkins in a moment, see how far he thinks Eaglehawk need to be in front at three-quarter time. As Perry gets a kick for the Dragons, it went towards Coughlin, fired off a quick handball to Collins. His handball chopped out, and the Borough can repel off half-back to kick out towards the outer side. That's McPhee. Runs onto the footy, bit of fancy footwork, goes onto the left, up towards half forward. No mark taken. Fallon's got the footy. In fact, it's Harper, but he's immediately tackled. Good tackle put on by Ruff, and will have a bounce about 65 out from the Eaglehawk goal. What do you reckon, Norm? How far in front they got to be? Three goals?
I think they've got to be 3 or 4 up at three-quarter time, and if they're not, then it'll be hard in the last quarter.
In the ruck, Neves over the top, although Martin's able to scrap it out at ground level. Bateson spins out of a number of tackles and gets out a handball. Going to be working back. Dylan Williams is in there. Jumps over the top. So too does Fallon. 40 out from goal. Ball still alive. Coming out there was Ruff, although his handball was terrible. Great tackle by Sandhurst. Was Wharton, although over the shoulder. As you heard there from Norm. Tell us what happened there, mate.
Yeah, look, the handball came out, the Eaglehawk player got it, and Sandhurst player was just a little bit over-enthusiastic. Came in from behind, and the arm slid up, and he ended up over the shoulder.
Ben McPhee will take the kick. He's already kicked one today.
Been one of the Borough's best, I'd say, today.
Distance shouldn't worry him. 45-degree angle. Let's see how this kick works against the breeze. Stabs at it, and straight through the middle. Umpire doesn't move a touch. And that's 2 in a minute for Eaglehawk. And it's all tied here at the QEO. 7-5-47 apiece. 2 for the day for Ben McPhee. And Eaglehawk off to the perfect start in this third term.
And the challenge is now up to Sandhurst. They've got to get the ball out of the centre. And when they get it forward, they've got to be able to hold it forward. But notice that Sandhurst must be playing a couple or one loose man in defence, because they're outnumbered in their forward line by Eaglehawk at this stage.
So back in the middle. Big Martin is an imposing chap. He might have just mistimed his run a bit there. The ball fell almost at their feet. Diving in under all that is Broadbent. He can't get the ball out for the Dragons. We'll have another stoppage. They're all tied up. Early going third term. Eaglehawk with the breeze in this quarter. Martin got a clean knock down towards Andy Collins. Kicks the Dragons inside the 50, and Strawn comes out and takes the mark beautifully, but that hasn't been the problem for him. The problem, Norm, has been kicking the goals.
The problem has been the next part of the act, and let's hope he just goes back, settles down, takes his time, and kicks through the football, doesn't lean back. He's leant back on his last 2.
Well, he's got to go into the breeze, but he's not far out. He's only 30 from goal. Keep it low and punch it into the breeze. Let's see how he goes. He gives it plenty of air time. It swings one side, then the other, and he's finally got a major on the board. Strawn with his first, and the Dragons lead by a goal, 8-5-53. Eaglehawk 7-5-47, 7.5 into the third quarter, thanks to Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets. Here's Norm Jenkins.
Yes, and that was good by Sandhurst then. They got the ball out of the centre. It was good ruck work and well roved by Collins, and Eaglehawk are going to have to really man up on Collins in the centre there. And now it's up to Eaglehawk. They must respond, but they've got to respond with 2 or 3 goals, not just 1.
Great game of footy being witnessed by the crowd out here at the QEO. Goal for goal to start this third term. Martin with the tap. Probably held without it, the Eaglehawk player, although Broadbent came over the top and applied a strong tackle to make sure he wasn't going anywhere.
Once again, it was Neve doing his roving.
He's been strong, and at time he couldn't work out. Morris tried busting through the Fallon tackle, couldn't quite. Number of players jumping over the top.
Holmes, you wouldn't want to be under all that, would you?
My poor old Morris was the one underneath.
The little fella's got a few blokes to peel off as this one's thrown up. Spear tackle there by Morris as Fallon tried jumping over the top. What's the umpire going to do here? He's going to ball it up. Sanders players begging for holding the ball. It was a rugby-style tackle by the young fella. And Fallon gets up a little bit gingerly. We balled up once again. Haven't moved much from the centre. Martin, great tap, leading in the space. There will be Harper, although he can't quite pick it up. Collins applying some good pressure at the back. Parry now to that man Morris we spoke of before. His loopy handball cut off by Eaglehawk, although Stagg flying in was great. Number of tackles applied. Maybe could have been copped high, but umpire let it go. Toss it up, 40 out.
He could have also been gone for holding the ball because he tried to take the tackler on.
Collins, Andrew and Brody, that is, having
Yeah.
a few words out there. Not related, of course, but having a few discussions as the ball's thrown up once more. Daly overruns it. Morris has been good to start this quarter, manages to spill the ball out. Stagg couldn't pick it up. Coming in hard over the top there was Martin Layden for Sandhurst, but forces another ball up.
Suiting the Dragons, these stoppages, because Eaglehawk, they need to get the ball in the open space, Norm, and get it on the breeze.
Yeah, they do, and Sandhurst have done this well at this stage.
Good leap by Neves, who knocked the ball forward for Eaglehawk. All two Eaglehawk players have collided and hurt one another. Collins won it off to Wharton, but that was a brilliant tackle by Fallon. Brought him down, and he'll take the free kick. True centre-half back for Eaglehawk. And they Borough need to make time here. The kick by Fallon. Up late was the architect, Daly, but couldn't take the mark. The ball cleared for Sandhurst. Parry will take it with the one arm, drag it in on the wing and takes the mark. Sits it up high towards half forward. Couple up early, no mark taken. Broadbent had his chance, couldn't quite hold on to the mark. Now the ball trapped in a pack of about 4 or 5. Will have a bounce. 55 from the Sandhurst goal. And they're doing most of the attacking at the moment, the Dragons, Josh. And they lead by a goal.
Sure are. Chance for Eaglehawk now to try to hold the ship as Martin tries busting through 3 or 4 tackles. Spilled a handball out. Daly stripped and spun around 360. Umpire let it go. Jumping in over the top there was Dickens and forces another ball up. But Sandhurst have gained about 30 metres. And they're about another 30 from goal. They lead this game by a single kick as Tim Martin trudges back
Just a
across
kick
the wing.
behind the play where you like a good ruckman.
Yeah, wins his balls back there as Neves punches it out. Parry, though, picks it up, tries to get a handball out to his teammate, although Collins cut it off. That's Brody Collins. Now he gets a handball out and some chance to rebound through Dickens. Kick is poor, though, too much height. Fallon did well and applied a nice tackle on Wharton. He was able to pick it up again to Wharton. Can't force it out anywhere. Now jumping on top. Umpire's letting this all go across the forward line, and Holmes is going to wrap it up, and now the umpire will be forced to bounce it up.
Tempers are fraying a little bit.
Sure are.
Stag's in the thick of it. So, go on.
Martin, sorry there,
No,
Ronnie.
you're right.
Tumps it back. Wharton got time and space to put a little ball inside 50. Collins couldn't mark. At the bottom of the pack, though, Broadbent shoveled a handball out. It's cut off, though, and Eaglehawk can rebound.
The Borough get a kick out towards the wing. Now there's a free kick. Going to go to Collins. He'll take it for the Borough. Sends it down the line. That's a good kick. Mark taken for Eaglehawk by Knott. A long ball towards full forward. It cleared the pack. Price might be first back there for Sandhurst. He will. You'll get a clearing defensive kick. That's a lovely ball. And the mark will be taken by McKinley.
McKinley, cross half back. Been playing deep forward for most of this game, so getting a chance to get up the ground. Broadbent cleaned up from the front. Umpire's going to pay a free kick.
Yeah, I think that's a fair enough decision, Norm. Front on
It
contact.
was front on contact. The Eaglehawk player was unlucky, though, because he had the ball in hand until contact was made.
Poor kick, but Holmes was able to pick it up before it bounced the ground. And that's a beautiful one. Somehow Collins finds yards of space inside 50 and marks 45 out from goal.
Been a bit reluctant to shoot from this
He
range,
has. I
hasn't
was
he?
just going to say, I don't think he'll make the same mistake he made in the first quarter where he passed it off. I think he'll have a shot for goal. He'll take it on his own shoulders to put the ball through.
He's on a very tight angle, pretty much where the paint meets the boundary line inside 50, and he certainly does go short. Wharton the target. Can he hold it on? He can. That's almost a carbon copy of what we saw in the first quarter, although this time Wharton will have to kick from a very tight angle as well. But inexcusable defending to once again let Sandhurst get a little chip kick in, knowing full well that Collins was going to do that. Now Wharton, he's probably only got 10 metres closer to goal, exactly the same angle that Andy Collins was looking at. Opens up, improves it, jumps on the left and stays right for a minor score. Does Joel Wharton's kick. So Sandhurst moving now to 8-6-54. Eaglehawk 7-5-47. 14 minutes gone in this third term. Thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM, where local footy is our first choice.
So, good game of footy. 7 points in it as the Borough bring it in. a little dangerous. Williams, he got some pretty heavy contact. Umpire said, take a free kick, much to the relief of Eaglehawk fans, because the Sandhurst Dragons had the numbers. The little chip, Daly at half back, long ball now towards the wing, not the target, went over his head, bit of a foot race, and finding the boundary line was hand for Sandhurst. The umpire said that's all right, throw it in. Sandhurst 8-6-54, Eaglehawk 7-5-47. The Borough trail by 7 points, almost 15 minutes into this third term, thanks to Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets.
So bringing it down to the ruck there was Strawn, although it doesn't move anywhere, as Seb Broadbent copped some attention on the bench from the trainers. I reckon that was from that hit in that marking contest. Bit of a busted nose. Gets a tap on the back, though, from his assistant coach, and play goes on. On the wing, trying to dump out of that tackle there was Worm. Good work by Parry to try and force his way through, although his handball was chopped off by Davies. Kick inside 50 is a slow spinning one and will trickle out over the boundary line about 35 out from goal.
Yes, unlike the first quarter, Eaglehawk are not going direct towards goal this quarter. They've fallen back into the chip kick forward.
Strawn in the ruck. He hasn't had as much domination there as he has up forward, but up against Knott. Chance for Knott to get involved. It was good last week. Hasn't quite able to have the same input this week. Brought it down. Spinning kick out of there by the Dragons towards the boundary line, leading to the race with Collins, but it's tapped out over the line. And Martin makes his way back up to the ruck once again and calls Taylor Strawn out. He's been a good target up there as Strawn. Was a lot of delight as he finally got that first goal after plenty of misses. Martin wins the tap. Morris tried to apply the tackle on Harper, but not before he got a kick off. There is Strawn. He's wrapped up in a tackle. Davies tries ducking around 3. Umpire has now pulled a free kick for a high tackle. It's going to go the way of Morris. The young fella, he's come alive in this third term. Although plenty of numbers behind the ball, and he's going to have to be smart with this next kick. Doesn't have any options, so goes for the handball. Paul Pratt loops it over the top to Coughlin. Now chucks it on the boot. It's going to hug the boundary line. Flying from the back, McKinley. Almost taking the mark there was Gray. And it's over the boundary line. No, just on the boundary line, going to be balled up.
Well, I reckon this ball might be coming our way, Norm. It's close to that close to the boundary. We'll have a throw up.
Yes, it is there, Ronnie. And
It's actually gone over the line, so we're actually going to throw it in. So Martin, clean double punch on the footy. It ends up with Stagg, who kicks it deep into the forward pocket over Strawn's head. Borough need to be careful here. I reckon that's Dickens, little toe poke. Found a teammate fortuitously, but they're under the pump trying to get it out of defence. In the end, they get a hurried ball back towards the wing. Big Martin couldn't quite make the ground to take the mark, but he did enough to knock it down. It ends up with Andy Collins, who chips it across the ground. Bounces at the feet of his teammate, but he trapped it well. Dragons work it forward. Paul Pratt bounces it inside the 50. Chance here for the Dragons. Gray got a kick, well, of sorts, straight up and down on the one spot. Strawn went hard at it. He and a teammate collided fairly heavily. The ball falls to ground and the umpire says, I'll have it, boys. It's only 25 to 30 out from the Dragons' goal. Gee, if they get another one in, Norm, it's going to make it tough for the Borough.
Yes,
So,
it is. But
tossed up, knocked down. Again, it's Stagg, who from a standing start got a little toe poke to it. Borough appear to have the numbers, although they're being held up, trying to work it out. There's Collins, dodges and weaves, gets a little toe poke to it. No mark, last line, Wharton clever, off to a teammate who had a flying shot, Gray, and missed a lot. Out of bounds on the full. Not quite tool of the week stuff, but he missed the whole lot from about 15 metres.
Going around the grounds, Golden Square 6-5-41 to Storm 11-7-73 and South Bendigo 6-10-46 to Kangaroo Flat 2-4-16.
Blood rule here. Andy Collins making his way off the ground after that big collision with Taylor Strawn in the marking contest. And plenty of claret coming out of the nose there, which is what you want in a blood rule. You don't want anything small on the knee or anything. You want plenty of blood flowing down the face.
actually coming out of the forehead.
Yeah, sure is. He's a brave man, is Andy Collins. Was concussed about 4 or 5 weeks ago when we were last here, but played on, and I'm sure he'll be back here in no time. Meanwhile, the ball finally comes back into Daly. He links up with Dickens, and they switch out wide, and the mark's taken out there by Collins. He doesn't waste any time and moves it up
That's
towards
a better
Knott.
movement.
Yes, this is certainly better movement. Good handball out there to Thompson.
Good
He's
tackle.
stripped. Brilliant tackle. I think it might be Cody Price, who has been superb in defence today for the Dragons, and he'll take the free kick across half-back. And you heard Ronnie talking about the ball movement. That tackle just stopped them in their tracks. Kick goes up towards Stagg, spoiled by Dylan Williams, who can pick it up and go back inside 50. Great one-on-one, Paul Pratt. Strong work by Thompson. Almost held onto the mark after 3 or 4 bites at it. Comes out to Knott. Get a spinning kick away. Falls in the path of Tanner. Comes back out to Collins. Kick inside 50. Sandhurst have the numbers. Wilkinson's back and takes a nice intercept mark. Cuts off that attack in defence.
So it brings it wide. Broadbent being one of the Dragons' better players today. Mark's in the back pocket. Little chip. That'll work okay. Mark taken by Worm. He kicks it long but very wide and out of bounds on the full. So it'll be an Eaglehawk free kick in front of the main grandstand. Pretty much on the wing. Chance here for Miles to send the Borough back inside the 50. They need a couple of goals, Norm, before this three-quarter time bell.
Yeah, they do, Ronnie, but I can't see where they're going to get it from. It's all stagnant. They're allowing Sandhurst time to get back.
So Miles just blazes it as long as he can. Big Martin went up, almost had the mark. Not quite. Unlikely it may be, but he did his own roving, then tried to handball it to a teammate who walked it over the line. We'll have a throw in. It's a cross half forward for Eaglehawk, broadcast side. 21 gone, third term. It's Sandhurst leading by 7 points, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
Tossed back in. Another shallow one so Martin can get his first hands on it, although it doesn't go as far. Ducking out his Stagg, somehow got on the end of it. Throws it on the boot. Gray the target. 3-on-2 though, and Eaglehawk can rebound through Miles. Good kick through traffic to find Williams. He's got a few options up forward if he looks up quickly, although wasn't quick enough getting back on the mark, and now has to dump off a handball to a teammate there in Collins. Long kick inside 50. Numbers fly, and a good spoil made by Paul Pratt. Puts it over the line for a throw in.
Just for our listeners, there's a Collins for Sandhurst, of course, and there's 2 for Eaglehawk. So it's you hear Collins, you're probably wondering which Collins it is, but Andy Collins is getting patched up on the boundary. He's got the headband on at the moment for Sandhurst.
Martin brings it down in the ruck. Diving in over the top there was Wharton, but no luck in keeping it in. Will be thrown in from the exact same spot. We've sort of worked out our numbers eventually with Eaglehawk on their clash jersey. It's not easy for us commentators, but we've sorted it out.
No, they stink, Josh, just be honest. They are absolutely putrid, those numbers.
Tossed in again. Over the top there was Neves, and his fist works at a couple of metres closer to Sandhurst goal, but will be thrown in once again. Matty Gray coming off the bench. He's been good in his first game, presenting a target for Sandhurst. They lead this game by 7 points. Tossed in again. Pressure on Sandhurst now in their defence to see if they can get a goal. Blair Holmes in a strong tackle. There's a man down for Eaglehawk. And he's making his way up gingerly. I think it's the ruckman, Jonty Neves. He's on his haunches now. Looks very sore. Play continues though. Martin wins the tap easily. Comes out now to his teammate in Parry. Got dumped as he kicked it, so only got a little bit away. Spinning out of troubles there was Jesse Williams. Now comes back to Dylan Williams. Stripped as he kicked. Just got it off. Wharton. Now Martin, Wilkinson and Zimmer can rebound for Sandhurst, and they're away.
Yeah, the give and go. He runs through half back, or he might have took on one too many. The Borough will turn it over here. Trying to work hard as McPhee. Got a handball at close quarters. Didn't really hit the target. It get worked back to McPhee in the end, who squares it to Daly it is, who goes up towards half forward. No mark. The little buzzing fellow there, Morris, picks it up for Sandhurst. Back towards the middle of the ground. No mark. Parry in the van. Can't trap it. Coming the other way, Holmes. He dives in on top of it. The ball spills. Chance here for the Dragons. Handball by Ruff. Charge down. Eaglehawk win it back. Kick it to half forward. Running onto the footy now is Broadbent. Worried out of it though by Neves, who can have a little chip to the top of the goal square. Unfortunately for him, his opposing ruckman Martin took the defensive mark.
Zeb Broadbent in a lot of pain. We'll get back to that in a second as Sandhurst clear that ball out. Looks like Price out here. Broadbent Shakes off the trainers. He was holding his shoulder for a little bit there, Norm, but he looks like he's okay.
He was, the left shoulder. He landed heavily on it as he went to ground.
Comes out to Coughlin, little chipping ball across half back. McKinley, quick hands now to Worm, and they're away, the Dragons. Kick towards Collins. This is Andy, who's back on the ground. Head heavily strapped after that knock. Can't shrug the tackle of McGlashan. Tries to get rid of it. Umpire says, I'll ball it up, thank you very much.
Getting pretty dark here, Norm. Or is my eyes getting tired? One or the other?
No, it is starting to get a little bit darker, Ronnie. The sun's gone down.
So Neves up high in the ruck, got it down. Andy Collins sees it over the line. We've got to throw in.
You'll find, Ronnie, as the day progresses, most of them get dark eventually.
I tell you what, you've got to get a clipping in a minute, Wallace.
Golden
You're
Square.
lining up for a clipping.
Golden Square 6-5-41, storming control out there at Wade Street, 14-8-92.
25 minutes gone, third term. It's been a low-scoring term, nothing compared to what we've seen in the second. Eaglehawk spinning out of trouble was Williams. Comes out to Ruff. Handball to a teammate who was immediately tackled. Ruff goes back in and gets it. Brodie Collins on hands on knees, slaps it out. Good work there to McIver. Now spinning in a dangerous tackle. Ball spills out and couldn't control it there was McIver once more, and he forces a throw in. Norm, you said that to be 4 goals in front. They're currently 1 goal behind. Are you concerned?
No, you would be concerned if you're an Eaglehawk supporter
absolutely.
at present. I mean, Sandhurst are in the box seat at this stage.
Thrown up again. Martin in the ruck. Good tap down. Trying to speed onto it was Price. Socket it to keep it going. G's been good today. Good handball out to Collins. Got a bit of work to do on the left boot. Just dribbles it inside 50. Strawn at hands and knees. Forced underneath the ball, but tapped it out nicely to keep it alive. Well done by Broadbent, who's gone forward. There's Price again, working hard. That's not 15, says the umpire, says Collins, and plays on. And 3 or 4 men jump him, and he will have to be brought up. He wanted to mark. That was about 2 metres, I reckon.
Yeah, he was a supreme optimist, I think.
Ronnie, you know how we say sharp goes bang? Well, he's gone bang. 5 this term, 7 for the game.
Wow. So it's deep in the Sandhurst forward line. We've got a blood rule, and is the umpire saying who's got blood on him? Looks like Williams is coming off for Eaglehawk with a little bit of claret on the neck. So he'll jog off. Wharton's coming off for a rest too for Sandhurst. We're very late in the third quarter, 26 and a half gone. Sandhurst have managed the 1 goal this quarter into the breeze. Eaglehawk 2 with it, but it hasn't been enough for the Borough at this stage. They trail by 7 points. Sandhurst into attack as we're just waiting for Nick Stagg to come onto the ground. As Wharton comes off, and how's Dill Williams? He's off the ground now, so looks like Brodie Collins coming on to replace him. So the umpire just waiting for that to happen. Deep in the forward pocket. It is getting dark, and it's getting a bit cold too. Even I'm feeling the cold, Wallace, so it must be getting cold. In fact, that was Jesse Collins who come back on to replace Williams. Strawn up high in the ruck. Now there's contact off the footy, and it's going to go to Collins of Eaglehawk, who's deep in the back pocket. Oh, that's a dangerous kick. It'll just come off. The Borough work it off half back. Little chip pass. Comes out here to Dickens. He's got it on the left. Down the line with a kick, but not well directed. Plenty of Sandhurst numbers here. Price. Little chip into the middle of the ground. Andy Collins takes the mark.
Got tons of numbers up forward if they can move this one quickly. Dishes off the handball to Price. Takes a bounce. Looks up. Goes short. Risky kick, but it works out all right to Broadbent, who got slammed in a contest earlier and does so now and just gingerly touches his shoulder, but looks okay and will have a shot from, well, he'll have to kick pretty much, Norm, from on the paint of 50.
Yes, it'll be on the paint of 50. He's a very lucky man because if it had to been anybody else, he would have run through him.
Plays on and nice kick to Collins. Goes about 20 metres and it's a tougher angle but much closer. Collins wastes no time. Bends it round the left and a minor score. It's a very strange decision there by Andy Collins to play on and do the old Stevie Johnson and chuck it on the banana, but doesn't work out for him. Minor score and another behind on the scoreboard for the Dragons.
There's been some interesting options at goal today. There's players that should go back and take the onus on themselves to kick the goal, but they don't seem to want to. Coach included.
Tyler Miles will bring it in. We must be closing very close to three-quarter time. It's been a low-scoring term. Long ball by Miles. Up they go. Is that Conforti? I reckon it is. He's taken the mark. He's at half-back for Eaglehawk. Needs to hit a target. Hommel off the target, goes over his head more or less, through his fingertips, and the Sandhurst player Wilkinson sees it over the line. Throw in. It's on the outer side, swimming pool side. It'll be thrown back into play just forward of the wing for Eaglehawk. Sandhurst 8-7-55. Eaglehawk 7-5-47. 29 gone third term. Thanks to Holden, Colorado at Poyser Holden.
Neves, big 2-fist out of the ruck. Gets about 20 metres going, but it'll be thrown in once again. Going to be an intriguing last quarter. The wind has favoured that Barnard Street end.
I reckon it might have just waned a little bit.
But I was going to say, it's dropped off a little bit.
Certainly not as strong as it was early in the day. It doesn't look as though it is anyway.
Sandhurst lead this one so far. Eaglehawk pressing late stages. Holmes wrapped up in a nice tackle. Jesse Collins pinked. Advantage paid. He takes off inside 50. Runs to 40. Kicks the goal. Big goal for Eaglehawk. And just like that, they cut the lead back down to 2 points. And, well, that just sort of came out of nowhere. Jesse Collins kicks his first for the day. Eaglehawk 8-5-53, trail Sandhurst 8-7-55 as we tick over 30 minutes in the third term. Thanks to Aussie Disposals. Norm, tell us a little bit about what we saw just then.
Well, that was an interesting passage of play. The Sandhurst player tackled by two other Eaglehawk players. Collins came in, took the ball out of his hands, played on, and the umpire called advantage. So well done to Eaglehawk there, and another one here. And even if they're only a goal up, they might have momentum going into the last quarter.
So knocked down in the ruck. Can they get another one, Eaglehawk? They'll come out of the middle of the ground. Neves runs his full measure and then chips it to Fallon. It just went over his head. In fact, it was young Thompson. The ball close to the boundary line. They want deliberate, and it'll be thrown in. So they appealed for the deliberate. The umpire said no. We'll have a throw in about 35 around from the Eaglehawk attacking goal. Dying stages of this third quarter. It's a 2-point ball game in favour of the Dragons.
Got incredibly lucky there, Sandhurst, with Thompson finding some space inside 50. They just couldn't find him, but they've still got a chance. Martin goes up in the ruck unopposed. Punch down to Collins. Spins out of a couple of tackles. Gets a snap out towards Knott. He's going to get first hands on this, although Wilkinson works him out underneath it. Paul Pratt and Wilkinson, although well done by Harper, somehow came out of the two with the ball. Big one-on-one contest. Jesse Collins. Oh, the umpire's paid a
Oh,
free.
that's not a free kick. He stood his ground and took the mark.
Unbelievable.
That is a
save.
howler.
And the free's going to go the way of Stagg. Collins strong in the mark, and somehow Stagg comes up with a free, and Sandhurst just going to slow this one down. Chipping kick to Wilkinson.
That's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, I agree, Norm. That was a shocker. How you could pay a free kick for that is beyond me.
Yep, the bloke just stood his ground and took the mark.
Wilkinson dumps this kick towards the wing. Strawn off hands. Stagg once again at the bottom of this one. Got dumped on. Holmes tries fisting it out. Gray can't get his kick away. There's about 20 blokes over this ball, and the umpire's going to have to ball it up as the three-quarter time siren goes. So the costly umpire decision may have cost Eaglehawk a goal late, and Jesse Collins goes to have a chat to the umpire. And he's not too happy. Nonetheless, can't change it. And the score at three-quarter time will read as Sandhurst 8-7-55, Eaglehawk 8-5-53. And a chance for us all to debrief after a big term, because it's going to be a big one to finish.
Yeah, settle down, Norm. Storm 15-9-99 lead the Golden Square. 7-6 award in that game down at Camp Reserve. 19-8, beautiful kicking by Gisborne. Lead Castlemaine 3-4. That is at three-quarter time. What will take place in this final term, we're about to find out. Stick with us across this round 7 clash. Ron Rogers for Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Well, can the Borough, despite kicking into the breeze, make a conscious of this in the last quarter? The Dragons try to come out of the middle, floating handball forward. Underneath that was Stagg, couldn't trap it. Chance here for Parry. Pushed his opponent off the ball, then ran into trouble. Could have been free kicked. Umpire said play on. Collins will pick it up for Eaglehawk. Kick it up towards half forward. No mark taken. Harper, I reckon's under all that, or is it young Thompson? It's one of the two. Both got the flowing locks. It was right the first time. It was Harper. Couldn't hold the mark, and we'll have a bounce across half forward for the Borough. Can they make some inroads early in this last quarter?
Martin goes up unopposed, although Coghlan went without it. Umpire going to ball it up once more.
I think had Coghlan been thrown to the ground, the umpire was going to play a free kick. But because the Eaglehawk player let him go, he let play go on.
Comes down to Jesse Collins, who has come alive in the last sort of 10 minutes of game time. Goes inside 50. Fallon overrun it. Now some pressure on Josh Hand to be clean with the ball. Comes out to Broadbent. Great tackle by McPhee, although he just couldn't stick the last effort of it. And Bateson takes it out over the line, 50 out from goal.
It was good work by Broadbent then. He was able to keep his feet even though he went to ground in the end and then get a handball out.
I tell you, anyone who watched that marking contest of that Eaglehawk player was free kicked earlier and didn't know our game would find it very hard to work out.
Oh, that's right.
Neve spinning out of trouble, gets it to Bateson, snap on goal. That's probably going to be on the full. Although, free kick being paid. Jeez, that's a stiff one. And once again, it's going to go the way of Sean Knott. And it's against Matt Gray, I believe, for holding.
Hasn't had a great day, has he, today, Sean Knott?
No, I was only thinking before that he's got to come good for Eaglehawk to have a chance.
It's the young Nick Tanner, actually, who gave away the free kick, the debutant. And Knott's going to line this one up with a snap. Opens up the angle and hits the post. Just didn't give himself enough space with the left foot to work it back. So it's just a minor score. Cuts the lead to 1 point. In fact, we might have had the score slightly wrong because apparently now it's all tied up 8-7.
I don't think they know. No, they don't know what they're doing. I reckon it's still a point in favour of Sandhurst.
Yeah, we'll trust in us.
No, they've fixed it now. So Price will bring it in for the Dragons, who hold a 1 point lead. Long ball. Is that a mark? It is. Dickens has marked it at the back of the pack for Eaglehawk. Chips it back inside 50. No mark taken. It wasn't a very good kick, to be perfectly honest. It fell into no man's land. Can they work it out? No, we'll have a stoppage. So a throw up. It's only about 40 from the Borough goal. They could badly need one here. Knocked down. Centre's player stood up in the tackle. It fell to Fallon. Got it to McPhee. This way, that way. Snaps it towards goal. Chance here for the Borough. The handball comes back. Flying shot at goal by McIver. And he has missed. Now scores a level. 8-7, 55 apiece. 3 gone into this final quarter.
Great start by Eaglehawk, isn't it, Norm?
Oh, it has been a good start, and they've responded very well to the position they left themselves in at three-quarter time. I believe that they've got the momentum going into this last quarter, even though they didn't get that chance at goal at the end.
So Price finds Paul Pratt across half-back by himself out of the kick-out. Martin going to be the target for this one, although he opts against that and switches across goal back towards Price. Now a chance for Price to find some space. Goes to Wharton.
This is too easy at present. Eaglehawk, you've got to pick their men up.
They've come across well to sort of slow them down partially here. So Wharton signals to go long, and that's where he goes in the direction of McKinley. Out the back, Broadbent. Good work to snap it into space, and we'll find the boundary line, but gain about 50 metres and get it up towards half forward.
Well, it's there for both sides, Norm. Scores level. We've played about 4 minutes in the final quarter, so if you want it bad enough, despite the breeze, you can get the job done.
Yeah, well, I think the breeze is there's next to none there now. The leaves aren't even moving on the ground. It'll all come down to who's the fitter side today, I think.
Scores dead even, 8-7, 55 apiece. 5 minutes gone into this last term. Tossed back up. Martin brings it down in the ruck. Morris couldn't quite hold on to it, and now it comes out through Eaglehawk. Kick up towards Fallon, although great work there by Paul Pratt coming in from the side. It's been great for the Dragons. Goes towards Holmes. Kick's going to bounce in front of him. He couldn't control it, but Coughlin cleans up out the back. Goes and sells some candy, although gets stripped in the tackle. And the free kick will be made to Dickens. And he gets off a risky kick, although Collins can cut it off into space for Sandhurst. Trying to mop it up, and eventually Neves, although he can't get out. And Eaglehawk still under pressure with this ball. That's a good result for Sandhurst. They lock him up across half forward, and it'll be another ball up.
I don't know there was much advantage in that Eaglehawk, but anyway, we won't get stuck into the umpires too much. Will we, Norm?
No, we won't. We won't, Ronnie. If we haven't got umpires, we haven't got a game.
Knocked down by Martin in the ruck. It's defensive side of the centre for Eaglehawk, and it's an Eaglehawk free, I reckon, for a hold.
Oh, I tell you what, I thought he put his head down there. I wouldn't have paid that one.
Brody Collins for Eaglehawk with the free. Can the Borough build here from the backside of the centre square? Little dinky one into the middle of the ground. That worked okay. They move it forward quickly. A long ball towards half forward. Good work by the Borough. Chain of handballs. Chance for Harper, who's tight on the boundary. Can he trap it? He can't. That was good work by Eaglehawk. Saunders was involved in that as well, and they've moved the ball inside their forward 50. It's about 40 around from their goal, perhaps only 35. It'll be thrown back into play. Scores a level. It's 8-7, 55 apiece. 6 minutes final term, thanks to Aussie Disposals.
Collins of the Jesse variety tries spinning out, comes to Fallon, snap on goal.
Free kick back
Another
to
free.
Eaglehawk.
Yes, you're right. And it's going to go the way of Fallon, or no, it's Jesse Collins, I think, after he got rid of that one, was held without it. So good result for Eaglehawk because Fallon's shot on goal was going through for a behind. So a chance to correct the ledger. And it will be Jesse Collins who, after a nice 5-minute spell to finish that quarter, has started this quarter as well on fire.
He has. He really came into it in the last quarter, and he's certainly finishing on top of the ground.
Slide angle, 40 out from goal. The kick will give his side the lead whatever way. Does it have enough juice on it to get over the line? It does. Umpire says it does, and it's another goal to Jesse Collins. He's kicked the last two in this game, and he gives his Eaglehawk side the lead. First time in a while, I believe, as well, that the Borough have hit the front. 9-7-61. Sandhurst 8-7-55. Thanks to Holden, Colorado at Poyser Holden.
Around the grounds, Golden Square Trail 7-7-49 to Storm 15-11-104. And South Bendigo 9-16-70 to Kangaroo Flat 3-4-22.
Yeah, that was good work by Eaglehawk then. They got the ball in their forward line. They held it in and they got the benefit.
Neves got up high and knocked the ball forward, but there's a whistle. It's going to be a Dragons ball. Stagg will take it. Middle of the ground. So the Borough with a goal lead. He handballs it off to Andy Collins. Forced to release the ball back to Stagg. They're messing around with it a bit, the Dragons. It ends up with Ruff. Little chip pass is okay. And the mark taken by Coughlin. He can send Sandhurst long and deep inside the 50. Huge pack, the ball to the ground. Chance for the Borough defenders to rush it through. No, they won't. Tackled. The ball caught under about 5 or 6 players. Eaglehawk don't want to let it out, and I don't know if the umpire is going to pay a free kick there. So we're going to have a bounce. Can the Dragons manufacture one here? It's only 15 out from their goal. There's a big pack of players around this footy. Neves up very high, got it down. Strawn got a handball. Off to Coughlin, immediately tackled. The ball is with Jesse Collins. Got it off towards the teammate and Dickens who knocked it forward. Strawn overran it. Chance there for the Dragons by their player there in Zimmer, but the ball's gone out of play. Or is it a bounce? It's close to the boundary. I think it might be a bounce. And Josh deep in the forward pocket for the Dragons. It'll be bounced. It's a goal lead to Eaglehawk. 9-7 plays 8-7, almost 9 minutes final term.
In the ruck over the top was Neves. Tanner's in there. Neves just gets smashed by 3 Dragons players and forced over the line.
And Eaglehawk have lifted their work rate in this last quarter. In this last quarter, they're hard at the man and they're hard at the football.
There's a nice murmur in the crowd here. They're enjoying what they're seeing. It's a nice tight contest. Martin brings it to ground. And strong tackle applied on Broadbent. What's the umpire going to do here? He's going to ping him, I think. He is.
Yeah, he is.
Not sure how much prior Worm had in that contest. Who was the recipient. Dickens anyway takes the kick. Well done there by Hand to bring it to ground. Tackle applied there by Saunders and forces him out over the line in front of the Eaglehawk coach's box. Where Josh Bowe stands. No Bowe on the field today playing wise. He's been forced to coach from the bench, but Eaglehawk so far have been able to withstand Sandhurst without him. All up to this big last 20 minutes of football. Martin, as he has so often today, wins the ruck tap. And then he might have given away a free. Yeah, he came in pretty high on that Eaglehawk player in McPhee, but umpire lets it go and will ball it up. Big test here for these ruckmen to see who can go the longest. Looks like Martin at the moment. Holmes paddles it out. Dylan Williams with the head heavily strapped. Out to these namesaking Sean. Umpire wants a free. In fact, it is on the full. Unlucky for Parry. Sean Williams. Haven't called his name much. Nice kick in the not direction. Try with the one-hander. Couldn't quite stick the mark. Out the back is Price. Has to be clean. Nice handball to Paul Pratt, who also has to be clever, although somehow lots of space for Coughlin to mark, and now he can play on.
Chips it towards Stagg. Didn't have enough on it. The Eaglehawk player got in the way. The ball will go back inside the 50 for the Borough. Big spoiling by Tanner. Hommelhoff there for Eaglehawk. Tanner takes it though for Sandhurst. Gets a handball away. Releases his teammate who can get a kick up towards the wing, but it's misdirected. Jesse Collins comes in and takes the mark for Eaglehawk. He likes something he sees, and it's Williams who's got, as Josh had that headband on. Handball's off. His teammate upended in the tackle. The umpire says holding the footy.
Trip.
Does he? Or trip.
Well, the tackle did slide down.
So it's going to be an Eaglehawk ball. Holmes was the tackler, and it's Sean Williams for Eaglehawk with the kick, and he's right on the 50. The distance you'd think would test him. Got a couple of leads. He hasn't gone for either of those. Now he just pumps it long. Oh, Williams went up high, almost took that mark. And big Martin lays the tackle at ground level. Tanner's got it for Sandhurst. Cut off. Quick kick by Thompson towards the top of the goal square. But the Dragons have a player back and they'll get out of trouble, Josh.
Paul Pratt on the line of defence. Cleaned up high there. Surely it was Ross, and he's going to get the free kick. Not a bit too ambitious over the top. So Ross, drilling kick. Low towards the direction of Gray, who has to slide in to trap the ball. Comes out to Sean Williams. He's been around it everywhere, and sliding in from a marker on the side there. I think it might be McIver.
You're right.
Ryan McIver. Right place, right time, essentially. Sean Williams' kick wasn't the best, but he's taken the mark. 45 out, 45-degree angle. Really tough kick late in this game. Weary legs. One of the better players for the Borough has Ryan McIver. Already kicks one. In he comes now. Big kick. It's on the way. It's left. Not sure it's going to make the distance either. In fact, almost taking a mark there was Tanner, but off hands and through for a minor score.
In the context of this match, that might be a handy point.
Wharton brings it in. Yeah, it's a 7-point lead now, Norm. Mark taken by Price in the back pocket for Sandhurst. Goes across the ground. It's a little dangerous. Wilkinson had plenty of space, though. Took the mark. His kick's a pretty good one. Layden just couldn't quite control it, and it went out of play. Wallace?
Final score in the AFL, the Demons run continues. Ronnie 15-10-100 have defeated the Bulldogs 7-9-51, and Hawthorn late in the final term lead by 1 point over Port Adelaide.
Wow, that's a good game of footy.
Get up the Hawks. Meanwhile, though, QEO, the Hawks of their own are also leading by 7 points. Free kick paid.
Chevening, yep.
Going to go the way of Taylor Strawn for Sandhurst. Moves it on quickly. He's got Collins. It's a terrible kick, and it's going to beat the boundary line before anyone else. 8-7-55 Sandhurst. Eaglehawk 9-7-61. 13 and a half gone. It's been an absorbing contest. It was all Eaglehawk to start, but Sandhurst dominated in the second term, and since then it's been a real arm wrestle. Strawn in the ruck. Well done by McGlashan to bring it to ground. Over the top, Fallon and Morris. Morris manages to get onto his feet and spin out of trouble. Now comes up to Layden. Dribbling little handball on the ground. Dylan Williams held without it, and umpire will pay the free.
He made sure the umpire saw that one.
Sure did. Comes back to Dylan Williams. Been good this term.
It actually should have been a 50 metre.
I was going to say, we
throw the
haven't
ball
seen
back on the bounce.
We haven't seen one all day, Norm.
No, we haven't. It's been good.
Put that away for a while.
Neves at the back flies. Off hands. McIver also held without it. Umpire didn't catch that one, though. Clearing out the kick from defence there was Sandhurst, and fisted out over the boundary line was Tanner. And will be thrown in. 70 out from goal. Sandhurst pressing here. They trail by one kick. 14 and a half into this final term.
A couple of MCD FNL 3 quarters. Maryborough Rovers 8-16, Lexington 4-5, Harcourt 29-13, Denali 4-2.
Wow. Knocked down in the ruck here. Chance for Price, who's been one of the Dragons' best. He'd be in line for the One Tree Hill Player of the Day. His handball didn't hit the target this time, though. Dickens, that was good. Bit of fancy footwork out of defence. Williams might have been taken out of the contest. Umpire paid the advantage. Fallon runs through the wing for Eaglehawk. Long ball to the 50. No mark. Sandhurst defence under pressure. Hommelhoff. Can he manufacture a shot at goal? It's in the goal square. They all jump in on top of it. And the umpire said, I'll have it, boys.
Great work by Leighton Ross there on Hommelhoff just to hold him up so that he couldn't get a boot on goal. That was superb.
So in the goal square for the Borough, Tanner knocked it down, or Collins might have been legged. The umpire let it go and it rolled out of play. Throw in It's almost adjacent to the behind post, deep in the forward pocket for Eaglehawk, who lead by a goal, 9-7-61, Sandhurst 8-7-55, 15 gone final term, thanks to Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets.
Goal's been hard to come by in this second half. One here for Eaglehawk would really help. A lot of players over this one. It's 20 out from goal, not going anywhere though, will be thrown up again.
It's been interesting the way Eaglehawks responded this quarter.
Yeah.
In the third quarter, we looked as though
looked gone,
Sandhurst
didn't
had
they?
got on top. They did look gone.
They looked gone.
They look to be the fitter at this stage.
In the ruck, Strong brings it down to Tanner, although his kick's chopped off there by McIver. And he's going to have another shot for goal. 40 out. Tighter angle than the one he
No, he's well within
tried
kicking
before,
distance,
but
though.
you're right, Norm, much closer. Much closer than that last one. He'll probably end up taking this kick from about 35.
He's got to start it right, doesn't he, and let it come across. Like
He does, yeah.
Most of the kicks
Yeah.
have been going across the face.
It's been a tough spot, this one, to kick from. In comes McIver. It's nice, and as we predicted, faded left.
Just didn't allow enough, did
Didn't
he?
stick it out far enough, and another behind for Eaglehawk, who have it trapped inside their forward 50. 9-9-63 they lead. Sandhurst 8-7-55.
Paul Pratt will bring it in. He's got Price on his own in the back pocket. He ignores that. Plays on, almost made a bit of a meal of it, and then just bombs it long to the middle of the ground. Is that a mark there to Collins? No. He got his opponent under the footy, but couldn't quite hold on to it. He tries to stand up in the tackle, and the umpire said, I'll have it. So the ball's in the middle of the ground. Eaglehawk's lead is 8 points at the 17-minute mark of this final quarter. Strawn will do the ruck work. Neves, the best of it though, down to Williams. Got a handball for Eaglehawk, but Price has cut it off for Sandhurst. Little chip's a good one, and a mark taken by Broadbent on the wing.
Broadbent wastes no time in the Strawn direction. Great work backing back to take a strong mark in front of Collins.
Martin's by himself.
Quick handball off to Zimmer. You heard the call there, although he might not be needed because Isaac Ruff has it. Set sail for goal. Martin in the square. Couldn't grab it. Tries flicking it out to Morris. Brushes past the tackle. Snaps it through for a goal. The youngster, the little man, the smallest on the ground, has put it through. And this game is back to a 2-point margin. In fact, 1-point margin. Brilliant work by Dylan Morris. He kicks his first goal for the day. And it was a 2-point lead now for Eaglehawk. Sandhurst 9-7-61. Eaglehawk 9-9-63. 18 gone final term. Thanks to Aussie Disposals. Here's Norm Jenkin.
There's a storm brewing Bendigo football running. 1-1-9 Storm lead the Bulldogs 61. So it's a big victory coming up to Storm. And the Bloods 70 lead the Roos 22.
Yes, it's interesting to see the way Storm bounced back. They started that game slow, but they've certainly finished it strong.
Strawn knocked it down. Neves, his opposing ruckman, took it, but he was immediately tackled. He said he handballed it. The umpire said you didn't. Broadbent took it for Sandhurst. Bombs it long to full forward. Who's lurking at the back? Andy Collins shuffled it out. Was it a throw? Shot at goal for the Dragons. Is a goal to Gray.
Should
But
be
the
50
umpire
metres.
said it was a throw, and it's a free kick to Eaglehawk. Is it going to be 50, Norm?
Well,
I don't think so.
No, it has. They haven't played them all day, but that was a handball and then a kick after the decision was made, and Sandhurst just kept going. It should have been. They should be down the ground.
So Dickens with a free kick for Eaglehawk. Chips it corridor, very short. Got it off to a teammate who gave it back to him by hand, and then he kicks long towards the wing. Gee, Dylan Williams has been good today. He tried hard there, couldn't quite hold the mark. Handball comes forward for the Borough, but it's charged down. How good's this bloke been? Price, certainly in the running for the One Tree Hill Player of the Day. He gets the give and go, and then he chips it short to the wing, and Strawn marks.
Strawn on the wing, as he has often, plays on quickly. And there's the goal kicker, Morris.
He's your man, I reckon.
Yeah,
You
I'll
love
claim him. Dylan Morris in front of the interchange gates. Lots of voice behind him. He's going to trundle up and dump this one long inside 50 in the Martin direction. Can he win the one-on-one? No, but it comes to the back. Stagg tries applying the tackle, but not before the hands gets out to Hommelhoff. He can rebound now. Good kick towards Dylan Williams. He's been in the play, in the thick of things. Takes the mark and a bounce and plays on inside 50 towards Saunders. Off hands, although he juggles the mark and takes it on the second bite.
That was a really good kick, Norm. He put it
It
right
was,
out in front of his face.
No, that's right. Yeah, kicked it to the leading player's advantage, and the leading player just had to run onto it.
Riley Saunders with Eaglehawk leading this game by 2 points. We'll have a shot from about 45 out. This is another one of those tricky distances, Norm. Do you reckon he's got it in him?
No, not quite this time.
me
It'll
either.
end up in the goal square.
Well, let's see who's going to fly for it. Riley Saunders comes in, Kick on the way now. He's actually got a fair bit on it, although it does look like it's going to be
well.
left. And
He's kicked it.
I think it's a goal.
No, it's just snuck. I think it's just hit the
Hit the
post.
post.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he got the distance, but just slightly off to the left, and extends Eaglehawks' lead to 3 points now.
So Dragons waste no time bringing it in. The mark to Paul Pratt. In fact, it might be Zimmer, I reckon, who's got it. I think I was right on the second occasion. He went short. There's Paul Pratt. He's got it now. Dragons need to get a hurry on. The ball in towards the middle of the ground. Chance for the Dragons to work it forward, although Eaglehawk have the numbers. Player under the footy was hand. He was held up, and the umpire said, "Mine, boys." 3 point lead to Eaglehawk, 21 gone final term. We've got the close one, gentlemen. Tossed up. Neves has rucked tirelessly, got it down. Kick forward, Williams on the end of it. Handball to Collins. Had a little bit of a fumble. Wharton gets in his way. Eaglehawk try and shuffle it forward, but Stagg is there. He's well tackled. Brought to the ground. How does the umpire see that? It went over the line. He said throw it in.
An interesting Adam Parry back today. Looks as though he might be missing for a little while. Shoulder well iced.
They've weathered the storm well here, Eaglehawk, after Sandhurst came strong after that Dylan Morris goal. They lead this game by 3 points, 22 gone. Not going to be a long quarter, hasn't been too many goals. Martin's tapped down straight to a pack of players and will be balled up. 50 out from the Borough goal. One here would be massive for the visitors. Martin tries slapping it, but Neves was equal to the force and rebounded it. Daly can get it inside 50. Couldn't quite find a target, but it's a danger ball on hands and knees. Fallon gets it. Quick handball out to Hommelhoff. Snap on goal. He's good.
No.
He's done it again, Jed Hommelhoff. He was the hero last week with 3 goals. It's his second today. And he extends the lead at an all-important time for Eaglehawk. 10-10-70, they now lead. Sandhurst 9-7-61 as we tick across 22 and a half gone in the last quarter.
Final scores in the AFL for the Saturday afternoon games. The Demons 15-10-100 defeated the Bulldogs 7-9-51. And Hawthorn 9-10-64 defeated Port Adelaide 9-7-61.
Yes, interesting. That goal now, 2-goal break. Probably 5 minutes to go, so there's still time for Sandhurst, but they need the next one.
Now, the non-controlling umpires paid a free kick to Sandhurst. Is that a centre square one again?
No. Coughlin there was held when he went to go for the football at the ruck contest.
So he took it and kicked long. Coughlin to full forward. Broadbent. Can he find a teammate by hand? He does to Strawn. He tries to get it to a teammate who'll kick a goal, and it's Paul Pratt. What's he doing up that end of the ground? He's kicked a goal, and they're right back in at the Dragons. 10-7-61. 10-7-67 go again to Eaglehawk 10-10-70. Back to 3 points, 23 gone. Here's Norm.
And that was just too easy for Sandhurst then. The free kick given in the middle of the ground, a long kick forward as they did in the second quarter, and it paid dividends. They haven't been able to do that this quarter so far, but that was certainly a bonus at the time. But it's going to be interesting here because Eaglehawk have done well in the centre, but whoever gets the next centre break could well win the game.
Don't adjust your radio dials. We've got a blockbuster out at the QEO. A goal from unlikely source, and Sandhurst now trail by 3 points. Are Eaglehawk going to get a free kick? No, Sandhurst, not adjudicating umpires, come in and give him the way of rough. Game on here.
Well, I didn't see that one. The Eaglehawk players just went to football, got the football and kicked it forward.
In fact, it's Stagg who's going to get the free kick with Sandhurst down by 3. And Eaglehawk flood their numbers behind the ball. Here's Paul Pratt, the unlikely goal kicker. Plays it on and dumps a real high, dangerous one. Martin, the tall target out the back. Couldn't mark. Jesse Collins tries to get a kick at it. Smothered though. Comes out to Broadbent. Now Collins dances around the 50, slips over. Tackle applied. Umpire lets it go. Hommelhoff wrapped up in a strong one by Stagg. And will be balled up at centre half forward. Some enthralling footy.
We're in the dying minutes of the game, but the pressure's certainly gone up a notch.
Fighting for their life. Here are Sandhurst in season 2018. Martin slaps it up. Stagg grabs it out of the ruck. Paul Pratt in there as well. Harper couldn't quite clear it nicely. Ball finally does come out. McPhee, he's been tracked well by Worm. Gets it out to Daly, who also slips. A bit dewy underfoot. Dancing around some trouble now, although a great tackle applied. Umpire lets it go. Eaglehawk right under the pump here. They can't find a way out. High up and under kick. Worm, the mark. Is it going to be paid? No. It's going to be thrown in. Stagg took it, but it wasn't far enough and took it over the line.
And unfortunately stepped over the line.
So a throw in. It's across half forward for the Dragons. They trail by 3 points, and we have ticked over the 25-minute mark of this final term. The ball spills. They get a kick inside 50 of the Dragons. The handball comes to Holmes. Handball's off Coughlin. He's well held up. 2 tacklers on him. Umpire said, I'll have it.
Due in conditions, causing a bit of trouble for some of the players. Coughlin was clear then, and then he slipped.
25 out from the Sandhurst goal. It's thrown up. Martin got it down. Chance again for Coughlin. Again, he's gang tackled, holding the ball. Jeez, he didn't have much chance to get rid of that.
No, I think the thing was he changed direction. He turned and backed into the play, and the umpire gave it against him.
I don't know about that. But anyway, Daly's got the free kick, and he clears wide for Eaglehawk. And I think that's one of the Collinses that was on the end of it. And unfortunately for him, he's kicked it out of bounds on the full. So the free kick will go to the Dragons, and I'll send it back in, Josh.
Zimmer moves on quickly. Somehow Worm in space marks. What does he do here? He's 50 out from goal. Too far to kick. Numbers fly back. He's taken too long. He's going to go back for a shot.
No, Timmy Martin will get on the goal line.
So,
does he have the leg, the youngster?
Ben Worm.
He's confident.
That's a good sign.
He's gone back for the kick. He'll take it from all of 50 metres. Set sail for goal. It's out to the right and going to fall short. Who's there for the Dragons? Martin. Off hands, couldn't mark. Strawn's in there as well. Under a lot of pressure is Daly. And Eaglehawk, they force it behind. Ooh. They're going to have to do it again. They trail by 2 points. Sandhurst 10-8-68. Eaglehawk 10-10-70. 27 gone final term.
Daly will bring it in, and he needs to hit a target. Most of his teammates look like they're well manned up. So he goes long and wide. That's a good kick. It's a good mark. Can 40, I reckon.
He'll take his full 20 seconds.
So Eaglehawk lead by 2 points. Conforti's got the ball at half back. Sends it down the line towards the wing. Plenty of Borough numbers there. The unlikely rover is Martin. Got it off to Stagg. Sanders go back toward their 50. Wharton underneath it. Big spoil put on. It's knocked away from the Sandhurst attacking goal, and Brodie Collins, happy to see it out of play. It's still across half forward for Sandhurst. A kick and a half from goal. 28 gone. Eaglehawk 10-10-70. Sandhurst 10-8-68.
All to play for. What can the Dragons do? Late stages. Martin out of the stoppage. Kick to Holmes. He's marked inside 50. Unbelievable. 40 out from goal. Blair Holmes. He's going to have a shot to put the Dragons in front. He's kicked 2 today, Blair Holmes. A couple of monsters from outside 50. The distance won't trouble him. So in he comes. Blair Holmes to put the Dragons back in front. Kick on the way. It's way left. It might not even register a score. Flying at the back. Strawn couldn't mark. Now the numbers with Sandhurst. Here's Stagg. Couldn't pick it up. And he's pushed out over the boundary line. Incredible. Incredible scenes. I thought Holmes would definitely have had the journey, but it's faded left. Thrown up now. Deep in the forward pocket. Can't be long left for the Dragons. Martin brings it down. Paul Pratt's there again. A lot of numbers over this one. Collins spinning out for Eaglehawk. Trying to pick it up as Sandhurst. Where's this ball now? It's through for another behind.
Might have a draw here.
Unbelievable. It's a 1 point lead for Eaglehawk, and we're 29 gone in the final term. And Daly once again will take the kick.
So the Borough haven't been able to get it out of their defensive area, and they lead by just 1 point. The kick from Daly's a good one, although the mark was spilt. Neves picks it up, just bangs it high towards the wing. No mark taken, Tenner at the back. Working hard, Eaglehawk trying to clear this ball. Neves again, gets it off to a teammate who gets Eaglehawk up towards half forward, close to the boundary. Hommelhoff, happy to see it out of play. So it's a 1 point margin. We're almost at 30 minutes. It's throw in across half forward for Eaglehawk, who do lead by that single 1 point.
A lot of work to do now for Sandhurst. They're a long way from home. Martin in the ruck. He's been brave over the top. Neves. Price. There's the siren. Eaglehawk have held on. A thrilling contest. 10-10-70. Sandhurst gave it their all. A Blair Holmes miss might have cost them 10-9-69. It's the Borough by a point. And they go back to the top of the ladder. What a game we've just witnessed here at the QEO. I can't believe it, Ronnie.
Good game, really good game of footy, and congratulations to Eaglehawk, who, like Norm said, and I thought too, looked gone midway through that third term, but held on and gutsed it out and have eked out a 1 point victory. I guess whoever lost, Norm, was going to be a little unlucky, but Eaglehawk, to their credit, they stuck fat and were